Braddock. Your Robinson Rams are taking on the Lake Braddock Bruins. With me always is Shaun, Salehi.
Hey, guys.
Shaun, the Robinson Rams are coming in 2-0. We were talking about it last week. Marcus Denham with 8 touchdowns, is it so far?
It's 7, but
7.
You know what, man? I'm guarantee that he will have at least 8 by the end of the game tonight.
Robinson Rams undefeated coming into this game. Lake Braddock Bruins as well undefeated, getting a big win against a powerhouse Stonebridge coming out of Loudon, 13-6. Shaun, what are your offensive keys of the game?
Well, my offensive keys to the game is make sure ball possession is key. We have to make sure that we keep the ball out of AJ Alexander and the Bruin offense's hands. I mean, the longer they have the ball, the more chances they have to score. The longer we have the ball, the more chances we have to score. So ball possession is key. When it comes to defensive keys, there's one person that you have to look for when you look at when you're thinking about the Lake Braddock Bruins, and that's AJ Alexander, their wide receiver. He is a monster at 6'4", 200 pounds. 228 pounds, pardon me. And I really am looking to see how DeMarcus Birdsong and now, fresh off of injury, Navaris Grant is going to do against the giant receiver that the Bruins have.
Lake Braddock, a very large spread team. They'll run it inside, but they like to throw it around. And this is about the 3rd week in a row now we see a spread team. Has anything changed for the Rams during defending the spread here, Shaun?
Well, last week, or 2 weeks ago, pardon me, and last week, yeah, with the both Woodson and Lee also have a spread offense with no huddle. So what's great is that those 2 games, even though we blew them out, that was good offense. That was good practice, and it's good to look at film at those kind of games because you can look and they pretty much run the same formations as the Bruins. So if you can use that same experience and knowledge and learn from the mistakes that you made in those previous 2 games and apply them to this game, we'll be ready for the Bruin offense.
Should be an instant classic. It always is when the Robinson Rams and Lake Braddock Bruins take on each other. You think, as a Robinson Ram, you think of a few names. You think of Westfield, you think of Chantilly, but then there's always that name that puts a sour feeling in your mouth. The Lake Braddock Bruins. What does this rivalry mean to the players on the team, Shaun?
I mean, Coach Meyer said it best last year. They're your brother that you never wish you had from 3 miles away. I mean, they used to be in our conference, and then they've ended up moving out of the district into the Patriot District. We're still in the Concord. However, the rivalry will always stay. Even if we're playing a scrimmage against them, it will be the hard-hitting scrimmage you'll ever see. I mean, the brutality of both teams. I mean, they both know, being both secondary schools as well, you know that everybody's watching, and these are 2 giant schools from right next door playing for the game of their lives, and I'm really anticipating to see how the seniors on both squads do, knowing that this is their last chance possibly to play their rival team.
Looking into the corner, your Robinson Rams about to take the field, led by captains tonight, number 69, Josh Blas, along with 79, Nick Rupert, 2 powerhouses on the offensive line. And when you look at the offense, Shaun, you think obviously Jack Roulette, unbelievable talent, then Marcus Denham, 7 touchdowns, but you really got to give a lot of credit to that offensive line, especially led by those 2 seniors being Rupert and Blas.
I've said it all year long, and I'll say it again. As our Robinson Rams now enter onto the field, ready for war. As I said all season, and I'll say it again. This Rams offensive line is the best that I've seen in the past 3 years. They're young, they're athletic, and they can put you in the ground. I mean, they're a hard-hitting group of guys. They're physical, they're mentally tough, and they're just a great group of people for Jack Roulette to have in front of them.
Robinson Rams offensive line coached by Coach Richter, Robinson grad himself, playing on a couple of the powerhouse teams Robinson Rams had. The Robinson Rams take the field, and with that we await the arrival of the Lake Braddock Bruins. Bruins coming in 2-0. As the crowd stands for the Lake Braddock Bruins, and here they come. They take the field. Lake Braddock 2-0. First win against West Potomac, 30-6. The second win against this powerhouse Stonebridge team, 13-9. And here they come, the Lake Braddock Bruins, 2-0. Would like to take on the other 2-0 team from just down the street. That is your Robinson Rams. And it's time to find out who will stay undefeated, who will go home with a 1 in the L call.
A.J. Alexander uncommitting to the Ohio State University.
Over here and there, Just News getting number 24, A.J. Alexander, key offensive player. Shaun highlighted will be going to the Ohio State University coming in next fall. Congratulations to A.J. Alexander. Stage set. We go to the national anthem.
And also carrying the national colors is Cadet First Lieutenant Aujin Lee. Left flank rifleman is Cadet First Lieutenant Paul Kim. Carrying the national colors is Cadet First Lieutenant Aujin Lee. Carrying the Virginia state flag is Cadet Staff Sergeant Kevin Chung. Carrying the Bruin Battalion Guidon is Cadet Sergeant First Class Zach Zirkle. And the right flank rifleman is Cadet Corporal Mark Ferrig. At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to please remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem to be performed tonight by the Lake Braddock Bruins Marching Band.
I'd like to thank the Lake Braddock Marching Band for playing our national anthem. Stage is set, anthem sang, get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. Lake Braddock Bruins taking on your Robinson Rams, the biggest game of the year. Shaun.
Here we go. Big Friday Night Lights. Man, they say it's big in Texas. This is the biggest game in Virginia right now. This is the game of the week on Fox 5 for the entire DMV area. Everybody's going to be watching the recap tonight, and I expect it to be a classic, like you said.
Always is with Lake Braddock and Robinson, an instant classic. And Shaun, something to also highlight, no matter if it's a home game, away game, either school is always both well represented. See the entire almost away section is full.
Like I said, they're only 3 miles away from each other, so it's not a hard trip to make for either team, no matter where you are. So yeah, there's always going to be good representation from each side.
Captains tonight for the Robinson Rams, number 17, Ryan Scarborough, 28, DeMarcus Birdsong, number 69, Joshua Blas, and number 79, your center, Nick Rupert. All seniors for the Rams, all starters. Number 79 and 69, Josh Blas and Nick Rupert. Two key players, Shaun Salehi has pointed out, starting front for the offensive line there, and starts with the center, Nick Rupert. And Shaun, the Robinson Rams will take it to start this game. The Lake Braddock Bruins will have it to start the second half.
Like I said, one of my offensive key to the game, we won ball possession. Good choice by the Robinson Rams, making sure that they receive the first half kickoff, get up early, and start the run by yourself. I mean, if you can get points up on the board on your first drive, that's huge. It's always good to start off with the lead, and that way the other team, the Lake Braddock Bruins, will always be playing catch up. As long as we keep putting points on the board, which we all know Marcus Denham and company does not have a problem doing.
No, sir.
Being the second highest scoring offense in the state of Virginia, look for this Robinson Rams. Look for this to be this is going to be a shootout, folks.
They're ready. We're ready. How about y'all? About getting ready to start this football game. So Lake Braddock Bruins and Robinson Rams take the field. Robinson will take it. Start on offense, led by Jack Roulette, Marcus Denham and company. Kick blooming in. We are underway here at Lake Braddock. Your Robinson Rams are taking on Lake Braddock Bruins as the ball goes into the end zone, and the Rams take touchback starting at the 20.
All right, so starting lineup, obviously, for the Robinson Rams. It consists of a lot of great running backs and a great young offensive line, just a lot of youth overall. But one person in particular in the backfield besides Marcus Denham that I would be looking at would be Shaun Foncha, two people, I guess, Shaun Foncha and Roman Lowry, those other guys.
The other guys.
Both, Shaun being a junior and Roman being a sophomore, both two young guys, but they're hard-hitting power runners, and look for them to make an impact in this game.
Here's Jack Roulette, takes at the 20. Hand up the middle to Roman Lowry, puts his shoulder down, keeps chugging away, gets about 4 yards, maybe 5. We'll give him that. Be second down at 5. And Shaun, those little power run plays like that, you keep getting 5 yards like that, they'll wear you down. That's a good run by Lowry.
Yeah, 5 yards. I mean, that's worth it. I mean, and like I said, it's all about ball possession. I mean, we're just chewing down the clock and keeping the ball out of the Lake Braddock Bruins' hands.
Ball on the 25, Roulette. Snap, handoff, stretch play out to Denham to the right, and it's upended at the line of scrimmage. Great stretch play by A.J. Alexander to get there, along with 50, Michael Galligan.
Like I said it before during the pregame, not only is he a great wide receiver, but I also forgot to mention that A.J. Alexander is an amazing corner as well. I mean, he is definitely the star of this Lake Braddock team.
Third down, and we'll call about 4.5 for the Rams. Double tight ends out to the left as Roulette under center. Snap, hand off to Foncha up the middle. Has a good chunk of yards. Get over the 30 to about the 34 and has a first down. Great play by Shaun Foncha.
Great run by Shaun Foncha. I mean, like I said, he's a hard hitting kid. He'll put his shoulder down, and that afterwards, I mean, you can't catch him. His speed is ridiculous. And I mean, just also like we said before, watch this offensive line. They make holes large enough for people to drive trucks through. So look for this offensive line to make a big impact on this game.
Roulette. Handoff. Marcus Denham this time up the middle, getting a good chunk of yards. Good push up front to about the 44-yard line. It'll be second down and 1 for the Rams.
Another good run by Marcus Denham. What else is new?
What else is new?
Looking at this Rams offensive scheme. We're going to run it down your throat. Everyone knows that. But look for this game. We did not throw one pass last game or even attempt to pass. Look for that to change this game.
Here's Roulette. Keeps himself right side, quarterback keeper, and is taken down at the line. He's going to get a yard. He'll have the first down. There is a flag, however. It'll be holding on the Rams. Roulette had the first down, even though it wasn't a long run. However, someone was caught cheating on the line, and it'll be backed up.
That's always something that you hate to see. Coaches especially hate to see that. I mean, it's just fundamentals. You just have to make sure you don't tug on the jersey or the pads, and you have to make sure that, I mean, because that just costs you 10 yards, and you're not going to get that back that easily. I mean, now instead of third and 1, or possibly, like you said, a first down, you're now looking at a 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 11, and you have a much smaller percentage to making that than you do making a 3rd and 1.
Well, it's going to be a first down. Turns into a 2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line. Roulette Hand off to Lowry, left side. Cuts it inside. Flag down again. Lowry's cut down for about a yard of a gain. According to the Lake Braddock sideline, it's going to be another Rams penalty. We'll wait to see what the ref says. And it will be. Holding again on the Robinson Rams. They'll back up another 10.
Man, being on the Robinson squad for the past 2 years, there is something that I know every single person on the Rams sideline is hating right now, and that is that there will probably be punishment come next practices. That is something that you do not want to see. You do not want to make the same mistake twice. It should not happen, and they have to make sure that whatever is the problem is, get it fixed. I mean, this is the biggest game, as you said, of the year. They need to get that fixed now, while it's still early, while it's still a close ball game, and keep their heads. I mean, as long if you start losing your mind, you're gonna make even more mistakes than you want to.
You have a short memory in this game, Shaun. As we're letting the Rams take it, the 23-yard line. Hands off at the middle to Shaun Foncha, chugging away at it, gets a good 7 yards, should be the 30, but it'll still be about 3rd and 15 for the Rams.
Again, another good run by Shaun Foncha. We might actually see a pass for the first time in about 2 weeks from Jack Rowlett. I mean, he did not even go back in the pocket once. There was not a designed pass call at all against Woodson last week. But being 3rd and 15, I can't imagine them running the ball. However, Marcus Denham has done some magical things.
Patrick Esposito split out to the left. Great catching tight end for the Rams. Rowlett hands off to Lowry to the left side. Shoulder down, chugging over the 35-yard line, gets 5 yards, maybe 7 on the play. But we'll still be short of the first down, and that's where penalties will kill you right there.
That is. I mean, think about it. We would have been on the other side of the 50 by this point. I mean, that's just whatever offensive lineman got called on those penalties, they're just kicking themselves, knowing that they gave up that they pretty much wasted the first drive of the game that really gave them a good opportunity to go up early in this game. And now they're going to have to look for the defense to make a big stop against, like you said, this high-powered Bruin offense.
Senior Aiden Rockwood, number 4, to take the punt for the Rams. Another incredible senior for the Rams. He is unbelievable in the kicking department, and he gets a beauty off. They'll be taking out the 30. They work up, getting some room. 35, 45, 50. Still on his feet, and then finally cut down at the 50-yard line. That's a good 25-yard return.
Dejan Lee, I think.
For Dejan Lee, number 4, and the Lake Braddock Bruins will set up right around midway.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That was definitely a good run back, but I mean the Rams definitely have to make sure that they keep their composure and keep their poise and keep their heads and make sure that they don't lose their mindset going into this defense. Because if you give up one big play, it could possibly ruin this game.
Hand up at the middle for the Bruins. They're chugging away, still going at it. Over the 40 to the 35. And Dejan Lee gets the first down and a great first run. Good handoff by the Lake Braddock Bruins.
Dejan Lee's a little guy, but I mean he packs a big punch. Him being such a small guy doesn't exactly give the defenders a really good. They always kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, and they think that he's going to be soft. However, when he puts his shoulder down, he will take you along for a ride.
Kyle Edwards, the quarterback of this team for the Lake Braddock Bruins, number 12, big body out there, coaching up that offensive line. He takes the snap. Hand off to Lee again. This time he is cut down to the line of scrimmage. That is Bugsy Siegel in the middle there.
Defensive MVP from last week. Great nose tackle for the Robinson Rams defensive line. Absolutely fantastic senior, fantastic football player, and fantastic man. I mean, what a great guy, Bugsy Siegel. I mean, really, there's not many. You can't really say anybody's obviously a bad person on this football team. But when you look at this Rams defensive line, they will get to the quarterback in a hurry, and if you show that you're going to run, they're going to stuff up the middle really quickly, and you're not going to get much out of it.
Keeper this time by Edwards, cuts up to the right side, getting some room along the 30-yard line, cut down there, gain of 5 for Edwards. He faked it to Lee. There's our flag. There's a flag on the play. Let's see if Lake Braddock gets into some penalty trouble here. On sports-like conduct on Lake Braddock. And they'll be backed up here. So far, both first possessions for both these offenses, they've been getting into penalty trouble after good chunks of yards.
Like I said, this is a big. Actually, that was a legal shift.
Not a mistake.
Yeah, I mean they are pretty similar hand signals, but looking at the looking at the.
It's been 2 years since I've been away from the game, Shaun. You can't blame that on me.
Hey, we all make mistakes, and obviously we're not going to get it right all the time. But I mean, it is a rivalry game, and even if it was some sportsmanlike conduct, you're going to see penalties. I mean, the napkins are going to be thrown a lot today. I mean, they're going to. The referees are gonna have a workload for him tonight.
Edwards in the shotgun again, 2-by-2 formation. He rolls out to the left, looking for the pass. Still holding it. Now rolling back to the right. He's backed up all the way. Running into the ref is a DN. Now just floating it to the side of the sideline there. I don't know. Edwards kind of dug himself in the hole there. I don't know how it got out.
Yeah, that was a good decision by Edwards to throw that away. DeMarcus Birdsong almost made it all the way back from the other side of the field to get that interception. That would have been great. However, that's got to be a little upsetting though, as the defensive end Lars Stevenson sadly ran into the referee. He couldn't do anything about it, and I mean it was just an unfortunate circumstance. However, you just got to shake it off and go on to the next play and try to go after him again.
3rd and 15. Expect to see a pass here coming from Edwards. They line up, 2-by-2 set. Well, that's a 3-by-2 set with 3 over to the left with a tight end. And a flag is down. Delay a game on the Lake Braddock Bruins. And there you go, Shaun. Penalty trouble for the Lake Braddock Bruins, backing them up and potentially maybe killing this drive.
Well, you got to think. I mean, it appeared that there was a communication error on the Lake Braddock side. I mean, like you said, both teams will be very well represented. We have a full house on both sides of the field right now. I mean, there were people who had season passes and had to pre-order tickets for this game because it was going to be sold out. So noise will be a factor no matter what side of the ball you're on, offense or defense for either team. So you got to imagine the crowds playing a factor into this game.
3 2-by-1 set with a running back split off to the left. That is Lee. Edwards fakes a handoff, looking for the pass, rolls out to the left, running away from defenders, looking to pass, now floats one towards the 10-yard line, knocked away by Marcus Denham. Good defensive play.
Great coverage by Marcus Denham. However, a huge hit on the quarterback.
Is he just getting up there, Shaun?
He's just getting up. That was a huge hit. I mean, Nick Rupert was chasing him down all the way out of the pocket. Great effort from Nick Rupert. And I believe it was the middle linebacker, Dejon Lee, that went in there on the hit. And
they're saying that Edwards was across the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball, which I believed he was very close to being.
He was very close. He was very close. It's a tough call to make for any referee, but I mean, either way, no matter what, no matter what, there will be a no matter what. I mean, we're still getting the ball, and that's all that the Robinson Rams can care about. And Marcus Denham does now have an opportunity for a great kick return. We all know that he has that capability of that explosive speed, so watch out for Marcus.
4th in the size of Texas. Bruins punt it away. Marcus takes it. 10, 15, 20, flag down. Still has it to the sideline. 25, 30, still on his feet. 30 to the 40, off to the sideline. He is taken down. Great return by Denham. We'll see where the flag is.
Marcus Denham is really getting pumped up in this game. Look at them. Look at everybody on this Rams squad running back to the huddle, flailing their arms, trying to get the crowd pumped up in this game. However, I believe that this will be called a holding penalty on the Rams, and this will nullify that return. But great effort on Marcus Denham's part, and great energy from this Rams team, getting the crowd into it. And especially for the seniors like Marcus Denham, you have to imagine, like I said earlier, this is their last chance to play their team, to play against their rivals. This is a huge game for them.
Penalty will back up the Rams, negating the big return for Denham. The Rams will be close to their own end zone. Second drive for the Rams. Both the Bruins and the Rams have equaled just about kaput on both their drives. With 6:01 to go in this first quarter. 0-0 Rams Bruins.
Illegal block in the back called against Robinson.
Legal block in the back on the Rams. So it'll be half distance to the goal, behind the 10 to the 7. We're letting company have to mark it up there.
However, it's better, even though it marks them back and it nullifies that big return. At least it's still 1st and 10 instead of like a penalty after a 1st and 10, taking them back and making it a harder conversion.
And out to the left is Denham jumping over a defender, then driving forward to about the 10-yard line. I don't know if he got a yard or two on that, or Can't tell by this angle. They'll give him about 2 yards.
How's again another corner blitz coming from the outside with A.J. Alexander for the Bruins. Absolutely monster of a football player. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got hands. I mean, he's everything that the Bruins want, and they're really going to miss him next year with him being a senior this year and it being his last year playing for the Bruins.
Alexander going to Ohio State. That's the Rams hand off to Denham up the middle, and he is cut down in the line of scrimmage. No push there for the Rams.
So, well, if you look at the Bruins defense, they're actually the first team that Jack or I could speak for Jack that either of us have seen that have actually come close to stopping this running offense for the Rams. I mean, usually you're seeing on the first or second play a 70-yard run from Marcus Denham. This is definitely a change, and they're going to have to get used. They're going to have to strap up because this is going to be a dogfight.
Here's Roulette. Hands off to Fontra, right side, cuts it inside and knocked down again. And continue on your thought there, Shaun. You know, obviously, there's going to be every other play you're going to get stopped, but the Bruins are racking up consistent stops at the line of scrimmage. They're really playing up strong there.
The Bruins are actually ranked third defensively in the state of Virginia. Robinson is ranked fifth. So I mean, we're not far apart with defenses. However, Robinson is obviously this number 2 scoring offense in the state, being that we've blown out both teams before. However, this is a good Bruins defense, and this is definitely going to test the Rams.
3 and out for the Rams as Aiden Rockwood's out the punt in zone end zone. A little bit high snap taken by Rockwood. He boots it away. Good punt taken at the 45. Cuts inside as Alexander, 35, breaks a tackle, 30, 25 to the sideline. Flag is down and taken down along the 20-yard line. Good return by A.J. Alexander. There's a flag down.
That was a great punt. Great punt by Aiden Rockwood. I mean, he was in the back of his own. It was halfway through his own end zone, and he punted that thing 50 yards. This is high school ball, ladies and gentlemen. That's an amazing punt for this level of play. Aiden Rockwood is definitely one of the leaders on this team, and obviously he's one of the best athletes as well.
Holding on the Bruins will back him up. Getting a great run by the Ohio State commit, Alexander. Looks like they'll start around the 35-yard line, Shaun.
Well,
37 to be exact.
Being 4 minutes left in the first quarter, look for hopefully a quick stop from this Robinson offense. I mean, you really want to just. It's been a dogfight, like I said. I mean, neither team has gotten to. This is the first time I've seen either team get into the opponent's territory. So this is definitely going to be a defensive battle.
Edwards in the shotgun takes a snap, hands off to Lee up the middle, and then cut down after a good 3-yard run by Dejon Lee. 2nd and 7 to Loom.
Handoff given to number 4, Dejon Lee runs up the middle for a gain of 3. Brings a 2nd down and 7 for Lake Braddock.
And if, ladies and gentlemen, there is actually 2 Dejon Lees in this game. One for the running back for the Rams, or for the Bruins, pardon me, and then a middle linebacker for the Rams. So
I apologize for a little confusion there.
Yeah, if there is confusion, just understand that we are actually getting it right. It's just confusing because there's 2. There just so happens to be 2 players on each team.
Hands off the lead there, close to the 35-yard or the 32-yard line. Gets another 3 yards. It's going to set up a 3rd and short. About 4.
After giving praise to the Bruins defense, I mean, the Rams defense is doing fantastic as well. I mean, that's one thing, as you were saying, with the spread offense of the Bruins, and as I was saying with the fact that they've had practice from Woodson and Lee, is that, however, Woodson and Lee, they have a very good passing attack. Lee has a very good running attack. Braddock has both. So this is just a great test for the Rams offense or defense early this season.
Edwards keeps it himself right side. Great spin move on the 35-yard line. Close to the sideline and knocked down by a Packer Rams. No gain on the play. Unbelievable secondary play for the Rams.
And who else with that tackle but the other quarterback and nickel cornerback, Jack Rowlett. Fantastic hit and fantastic effort by Jack Rowlett on that play.
You know, Shaun, it's an area of the game that you don't really think about a quarterback, but Jack Rowlett is a big dude. He will stick you. Plays defense for this Rams state championship team, and he can throw on some hits. He's a big athlete.
He is definitely a monster of an athlete, and so is Edwards being on the Bruins. I mean, he's 6'2", 250 pounds.
Fourth and manageable. They look to go for it. Edwards takes him himself, right left side, and then knocked down. Great play. Marcus Denham takes down Edwards in the backfield. Turn it on over. Give it to Red. It's going to be a Rams ball.
Marcus Denham making plays on not only offense but defense. Fantastic play by Marcus Denham coming in from the secondary. Position. He actually came all the way from the safety position and blew up that play before he could even make a yard. Fantastic stop by the Rams early in this game, and that's definitely a huge momentum swing in the Rams' favor.
1:51 in the first, no score. The Rams take over at the 35-yard line, 35 and a half. And here's Roulette under center with Denham split out. Takes a snap. Keeps himself looking for the pass. Floating one down the middle of the field. Has Grant over the 50 to the 40 and out of bounds. And Shaun, that is the first completed pass of the year, and give it a 20-yard gain to Navaris Grant.
Wow. I mean, that was a great first catch, too. I mean, Navaris Grant coming straight off of injury. I mean, he messed up his ankle pretty bad in the league game. Went out, couldn't play last game against Woodson. But, man, that was a great start for him. I mean, that was a great catch. And he actually had both feet in bounds, and you only need one in high school and college. So, I mean, that would have been ruled an NFL catch as well. That was fantastic effort by Navaris Grant.
Great play, Navaris Grant, the senior. Roulette. Reverse play now. Here's Lowry putting his shoulder down along the 35-yard line to about the 33. Gets 7 yards on the carry. Great reverse, great trickery by the Rams. Give it to Lowry.
Man, when it comes to playing Lake Braddock Bruins, when it comes to the Lake Braddock playing the Robinson Rams, everything hats out of the bag. I mean, honestly, you are going to throw every single thing that you can even think of at the other team because you know how big this game is to not only you, but to everybody that goes to both schools. Even people who aren't here tonight are going to be watching this game with us right now, and, I mean, this is huge to everyone.
Hand off, Denham up the middle, gets over the 30 to about the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Robinson Rams. Marcus Denham with 6 yards on the carry.
This is a big drive for the Robinson Rams after a huge stop by Marcus Denham on that safety blitz on the failed fourth down conversion by the Bruins. Fantastic drive by the Robinson Rams, chewing up this clock and keeping the ball out of the Bruins offense's hands. And they're getting close to field goal range, which could honestly lead them to have an early lead in this game.
Burlett under center, 1st and 10 for the Rams. Hands off to Foncho, shoulder down, knocking over a few players, getting into the 20-yard line, maybe just over it into the red zone. It'll be 2nd down and short. And I'm going to quote you here, Shaun. Shaun Foncha, the next Joe Wilson.
He is. I honestly believe so. I mean, you have to remember, he's only a junior this year. So this kid has great potential. Looking at what he's done, I mean, he got his first varsity touchdown last week. And, I mean, that was huge to him after talking to him at school. I mean, it meant a lot to him. It meant a lot that he was able to share that with all the people that were watching him. And he just loves being on this Rams squad.
Roulette. Take the hand off again. Hand off to Lowry up the middle. Shoulder down. Knocked down along the 15-yard line. He'll have the 1st down. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 15 for the Rams. Great play. Great run by Rowan Lowry. With 1 second to go and none, we end this first quarter. Your Robinson Rams and Lake Braddock Bruins are tied at 0. Your Rams are knocking.
I mean, Rams are knocking at the door of this of scoring early in this second quarter. That would be huge, obviously, for this Rams offense and this Rams defense. Huge confidence builder with that huge stop on 4th down. I mean, and I don't know if you can see this, ladies and gentlemen, but there is a huge crowd coming from the Robinson Rams R unit, and these fans are pumped up, and so is this team, and I mean they are absolutely loving the atmosphere over here. And you would think of it almost as if it's a home game, as you said. I mean, it's really great representation from both sides, and it's going to be a huge game. It's a huge game for this entire county. I mean, it's a crazy game for tonight.
Rams students have been here since about 5 o'clock as the Robinson SGA has put together a tailgate here at Lake Braddock. So they've had a long time to get ready for this, and boy, they are, as you saw right there, complete foliage of that student section. As your Rams take it about the 16-yard line, 1st and 10 at the start of the second quarter.
look for the Rams to start this quarter going fast and going hard. I mean, they're gonna try to pound it down their throat as we do always and try to get it in the end zone early in the second quarter.
Foncha and Denham in the backfield. Rhett's on their center. Takes a snap, hands off to Foncha up the middle. Doesn't get a whole lot, maybe about 40 yards over to the 13-yard line. It'll be about 2nd and 7 for the Rams. Shaun Foncha with the carry.
That's one thing that when you look at this Rams offense, you pretty much know as a defense what to expect. You're looking pretty much for the run defense. I mean, there's not much. I mean, obviously that was the first completed pass of the year, but there's so many backs with Roman Lowry, Shaun Foncha, and Marcus Denham. They're so versatile that you can use them all over the field.
Roulette, hand off to Foncha again, shuffling his way through that line, getting close to the 8-yard line this time. Going to be 3rd and short for the Rams. Another good run by Foncha. That could have been Denham, actually. That was, in fact, Marcus Denham with the good run. Getting a 3rd and 2 for the Rams.
Fantastic run by Marcus Denham. I mean, he's definitely looking to get his 8th touchdown of the year early in this game.
Here's Roulette. Handoff, Denham up the middle, chucking away, gets to the 5-yard line. He's going to have the first. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Robinson Rams. Marcus Denham with the carry and great push by the Rams offensive line.
Great push by Marcus Denham. I mean, he was pulling about 4 or 5 different Bruins players, and I mean the Bruin defense is a big squad. They're a big group of guys. He's a small guy, but he's able to pack a punch. Like I said, he was dragging them.
Well, yeah, Shaun, that's a good point you make. I played with Marcus for a few years, and he's one of those guys playing linebacker myself. You go up to him, you see his size, you're like, oh, he's not going to do much, and then all of a sudden you use like a big punch coming into your shoulder, he'll really lay it into you.
Yeah.
Roulette, hands off this time to Lowry. Going for the goal line. He is in. Touchdown, Robinson. Roman Lowry with the run, getting in for 6. Your Rams are up 6-0.
That has to be a huge moment for Roman Lowry for the rest of his life. He has just scored the opening. He just scored the opening touchdown of the biggest game of the year, his sophomore year for the varsity squad. I mean, and it's one of his first touchdowns on varsity anyway. So, I mean, fantastic run by Roman Lowry, fantastic blocking by this O-line. That's definitely going to be a memory that sticks with him for the rest of his life.
Here's Rock. Snap, the hold, kick is up, and it is good. It took a while for that call there. Aiden Rockwood knocks on the extra point. Your Robinson Rams are up 7-0 in the start of the second quarter. Roman Lowry with the touchdown. We'll see how we can do on defense there, Shaun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that drive was set up all by Marcus Denham in the defense. It's hard to say Marcus Denham in the defense because he's so prevalently known on the offense, but he was the one on defense that stopped that 4th down try from the Bruins and was able to make that drive possible. And so now, after having your offense go and produce for your team, you have to go back. You have to return the favor and try to get another stop. Keep this game with you ahead. The last thing you want is for them to catch up early in this game. And I mean, it was a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight, but you want to at least pull away a little bit, and that just gives you confidence and everybody else on the team confidence.
And that's why this Rams defense really needs to be ready to come out, as you're saying there, Shaun, because you got to know this Lake Braddock, with all the talent they have, they're going to come punching to start here.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think fatigue will be a problem here, being one of the biggest, most hype games of the year. Everybody has the adrenaline pumping, and they're all ready for this game.
Little squib kick coming from Rockwood. It bounces off for Lake Braddock Bruin to the 15, now taken by Lee. He cuts it up inside, gets to the 20-yard line. Flag is down. Not sure what that is. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bruins at the 20 as it stands. We'll see what this flag is down. Shaun, this big enough rival as this is, I don't think that's going to be the last flag we see tonight.
Of course not. Like I said, the tissues will be flying tonight. This is referees will have sore shoulders come tomorrow morning. This is going to look for a lot of penalties tonight. Although hopefully they'll all be obviously sportsman-like penalties. Nothing extracurricular. I mean, as big of a rivalry as this is, we obviously like to keep this clean.
It'll be holding on Lake Braddock. He'll back him up. Or illegal blocking the back. Excuse me. See, Shaun still rusty on those calls. It's been a couple years.
Hey, it's fine, man. as long as we know what's going on.
Still learning as I go here. It's been a couple years since I've been on that field. 1st and 10 for Lake Braddock at their own about 7-yard line. Split out 2 to the right with 1 in the tight end to the left. Lead in the backfield. Edwards takes a snap. Hands off to Lee up the middle. No, he keeps him himself. Cutting back to the left side. Breaks another tackle. Then great stick by Donnie Warder, coming in from the linebacker position and stuffing Edwards.
Donnie Warder, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand, he is a sophomore. And he is a sophomore. And he just hit Kyle Edwards, who is 210 pounds and 6'2", and
absolutely drilled him.
And he drilled him. That is a huge hit and a huge moment again for another young Ram who has so much potential. And this being, he's still got 3 years left to go. I mean, it's the sky's the limit for this kid.
Edward hands off to Lee, and he is knocked back into the end zone, or close to the end zone at least, by Israel. Will it be a safety? No, it'll be stopped at the 1. Great defensive play.
Yay in Israel, man. He was on JV last year. He was the one who actually led the defense in touchdowns with the forced fumbles category. Huge play by Yay in Israel being at the defensive end position. Huge guy, huge heart. I just love seeing the effort. I mean, that was a great swim move to get past the offensive tackle of the Bruins. And obviously he wanted to get that safety, but still, knocking him down at the 1 is still just as good.
You know, it's interesting talking about Warder being a sophomore. Another pretty impressive player coming out as a sophomore player. Right, number 44 was Nick Roth. See what he can do here as Edward takes him himself, looking for the pass. Can't take it. Taking off now at the 5-yard line, then knocked down by the Rams D lineman. Great defensive stop by the Rams.
Good job by Nick Roth over there on the outside linebacker position. He chased him. He was chasing him down the entire field, able to catch up to him, made sure that he chopped down his feet and buzzed, and was able to make a good form tackle and bring Edwards down.
As I was saying before, I was cut off by the play. Another big name, Nick Roth, came in here sophomore year, wearing number 44, and immediately made an impact, as we see Donnie Warder did tonight.
There you go. I mean, it's being passed down. And that's another thing with this Rams squad is the camaraderie. The teammates are just absolutely full of love, and it's like a family environment over there on that sideline.
Punt taken away. Not going to be taken by Denham. No, now he does. To the 45, and he is knocked down immediately. Shaun, I don't know if he should have taken that. He should have just let it go with calling off his teammates like that.
I mean, I'm kind of mixed with that call, given that usually you call Peter, obviously. That's to signify the other players that do not touch the ball. We're going to let it go. However, the way that it was rolling, I'm pretty sure Marcus knew that he would have given up possibly into his own territory the way that ball was rolling. So he was willing to take one for the team and get hit. But as long as he stopped that ball from progressing downfield, he was able to get down that ball. So I do agree with his choice there.
Denham, one of those selfless players you'll ever meet, will sacrifice mind and body for this team as Roulette takes it. Hands off to Lowry, shoulder down, chugging away, gets maybe a yard or two, and he is met in the middle by Michael Galligan, the senior number 50. Michael Galligan, a player that I have been able to play a couple years with back in youth football. Very athletic, not the most tall guy, but man, is he the meanest guy you'll just about meet.
Man, size is definitely not a factor in these games. It's all about heart, and it's all about how much it's all about heart and effort. I mean, if you want it more than the other guy, even if he's 200 pounds and you're 2, I mean, you're gonna win that battle. It's all about heart in this game. That's why I always say it's 90% mental, 10% physical.
Roulette teases himself, looking for the pass, now taking off. Here he's at the 40, to the 35, still with the ball. Tries to swim a player, can't get by him at the 35. He'll have the first down, however.
Fantastic decision by Jack Roulette. Didn't find anything downfield. Didn't take the chance. That's the biggest part. He didn't take the chance and risk an interception or a turnover. And he didn't just heave it downfield for a prayer. He made the right choice, being a mobile quarterback, and took it upfield. And good block by Marcus Denham, switching from being a route runner to being a blocker for Jack Roulette.
Here's Roulette again as he got the first down. Hands off to Denham, right side stretch play. Cuts it upfield now, getting close to the 30, about 4 yards, maybe 3 on the run for Denham. That's a play that the Rams have a lot of success with there, Shaun.
Oh, yeah, the sweep play is definitely one of their favorites. I mean, with the two, I always say this: the two guards, like they call themselves, Mason Velasquez and Lars Stevenson, the enforcers. They will knock you over, as you just saw. Mason Velasquez had a huge pancake on that last play. Great lead blockers for Marcus Denham and company.
Here's Roulette. Hand up the middle this time is Fancha. He chugs away at it, but he doesn't get much, maybe 2. So Rams take it at the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5.
I mean, you're actually seeing the Rams actually attempt a few more passes this game because you can tell that the Bruins defense is actually catching on, believe it or not, to our scheme that we run the ball a lot. And, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Jack Roulette and the wide receivers and tight ends do in this passing game, because you're going to need to excel in the passing game as well to beat the Bruins. You can't just rely on the run.
And the adding of Navaris Grant to that scheme, too, definitely helps that pass a lot. Roulette keeps him himself, left side, coming upfield, 30, cut up over end as he gets past the 30, short of the first down by a lot. Flag is down, however. They'll be holding on the Rams. Not much on the play for the Rams. They'll get penalized. They get tried again by a lot more yards this time.
Yeah, I mean, being 3rd down, that's a tough penalty to take. It's now instead of 3rd down or instead of 4th down and 5. I mean, that's still now at least now you get another chance, but now it's 3rd down and 15, and that's rough for the Rams. However, you do get another shot at converting. But great effort by Jack Roulette. Again, not seeing the opportunity there to make a pass down the field, so he keeps it himself. Actually, that was a design run play, but great effort. I mean, he's getting away from defenders, and even though he took a big hit, that was a good job by him.
Key right now, you see Navaris Grant and Patrick Esposito in the game, 2 of the best catchers on this team. Possible pass plays, we have a 3rd and 15. Here's a snap. They go right to the pass. Fakes once. Roulette under pressure. He's taken down. Sack on the play by number 11, Abdul Ali. And Roulette taken down. The Rams have to punt it away.
That was a good play call. The left tackle in the Robinson Rams. That's just something that they need to work. That was a good move by Ali, able to get around him. I mean, that was a blindside hit. Jack Roulette couldn't see it coming. That fake was already designed in the play to draw off the secondary. It did work. However, the pass blocking has to be better, so that way they give him more time to execute that kind of play.
And Rockwood out to punt it for the Rams. 4:45 to go in this half. Your Rams are up 7-0. And we have a timeout will be taken by the Rams. Well, Shaun, a lot of our viewers might be thinking they got the stop at the 3rd down. It's 3rd down and about 5 to go at the 30. Why not just take the 4th down? And let me give you a name, an Aiden Rockwood. A lot of these high school kickers these days can't really kick even 20. Aiden Rockwood is accurate from about 40 out.
Like I said, that last punt that he had from inside of his own end zone went for 50 yards. That was just the net hang time yards.
Yes,
I mean, if that's not including what role it possibly would have had. And that's another thing. He's a very clutch player. I mean, if you ask him to put it down inside of their own 20, he will not allow a touchback. And if he does, he will kick himself for the rest of his week, working on his craft, making sure that he doesn't make that same mistake again. I mean, he always comes through for this team, and even though he's a punter, he's very well respected by the rest of his squad.
Respected by his squad, respected by his school. Everyone just loves Aiden Rockwood. You can't really talk to anyone who doesn't.
Nope, not really. How can you hate a punter?
You can't hate Aiden as a person in general.
Oh, no, definitely.
Aiden Rockwood boots this one away. Short one this time. Gets close, almost hits a Rams player. They'll squeak down to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Bruins will take it.
Again, another try. Again, at the 19, that was still good. It's still 1 yard back from what a touchback would have been. I mean, he was definitely trying. You could tell with the way that he was kicking that. He was trying to pin them deep into their own end zone. Didn't want to. He would have, if he booted it, that thing would have gone out of the back of the end zone. But he was trying to pin them inside their own, deep in their own territory. So good decision by Aiden Rockwood with that kick.
4:30 to go, second quarter. Your Rams were up 7-0. First down and 10 for Lake Bragg Bruins at the 19-yard line. Edwards in the shotgun. Takes a snap. Looking for a screen play out to Alexander. He takes it 20, 35, and then knocked down by, that looks like Nicholas Roth. No, Jack Roulette playing at the corner. Good stick he gave there to Alexander.
With Navarez Grant going out with injury 2 games ago and being out last game, they don't want to obviously risk further injury, so they're having Jack Roulette, a starting nickel corner for this Rams defense, start at starting corner on the left side, and man, he's doing a great job. As I said, Adrian Alexander, he's a big guy, and he took him down in 1 try, so that was a good job by Roulette.
Edwards takes a snap, looking pass, rolls out to the left, throws it down the middle of the field and knocks by everyone. I think maybe Warder got a hand on it to knock it out.
Oh, yeah, Warder got a hand on it. That thing was a bullet pass. I mean, he was trying to go for an interception, and he would have had it, but, I mean, that was definitely close to being an interception. However, you can't expect yourself to catch something that's going almost 100 miles an hour like that. I mean, Edward has a cannon of an arm.
It's one of those passes there, Shaun. It's not cold enough tonight, but if it was a couple degrees colder, you don't really feel your hands after that one.
Oh,
it's
no.
Kind of pain.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I've never understood how receivers could do that.
Nope.
Shotgun formation. Oh, no, that's under center for Edwards, 2x2. He takes it, looks past, and right away, it's Bugsy Siegel through that line. Unbelievable play. Edwards gets it out in time, but Bugsy Siegel says, hello, how are you doing?
I don't believe there was a blocker on him. Or if there was, it was a sad attempt, because there was nobody that he was immediately there. That actually reminds me, if everybody in the audience or watching right now watched the Thursday night game last night. Troy Polamalu had an amazing guess on that snap count and was able to jump over the field goal unit of the Ravens. That reminds me exactly like that. I mean, he was there, perfect timing.
Real high punt. You got to think maybe Denham got a hand on it. I'm not sure. It goes up close to the 45. The Rams going to have some good field position.
Denham did get a hand on that. You could tell by the way the ball was turning. It was going off his foot, going clockwise, and once he hit it, it started going counterclockwise. Absolutely fantastic by Marcus Denham, not only making plays on offense, not only making plays on defense, but also making plays on special teams. Extremely versatile player for this Robinson Rams squad.
4:05 to go. Second quarter. Rams up 7-0. First and 10 at the 44. Roulette. Hand off at the middle to Shaun Fancha, and he is stuck at the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard. Second down and 9.
I mean, if it's working, why stop? I mean, the run game is working. So, I mean, you're going to have plays running the ball and being a running team. You're going to have plays where it's not going to work. I mean, there's never a 100% success rate in any category, in any facet of football. So you're going to have runs like that, but then again, you're going to have runs that go for, instead of 2 yards, they're going to go for 20, or instead of 20, they're going to go for 80.
Got to have a lot of patience in this time offense.
Exactly.
Hand off to Denham, right side. So going that way, cuts it upfield now, has some room. 35 out of bounds along the 25-yard line. First down and 10 for Marcus Denham, 15-yard run.
Look at Marcus Denham. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, once again, great lead blocking by the enforcers, Mason Velasquez and Lars Stevenson. But look at Marcus Denham. I mean, he was chugging his legs so hard that he couldn't stop until he got to the R unit squad. And man, he was so pumped up. He's so pumped up being the last Lake Braddock game of his career. I mean, he's definitely in this game. He's waving his arms trying to get the crowd in this game too.
3:25, handed off to Lowry. Up over the 25-yard line to about the 23. Good 5-yard run again by Lowry. Now, there's players like Denham who will really just cut it upfield and get long chunks. But then there's players like Lowry who just keep on going, keep on chugging. He'll get those 5-yard runs, and they'll just wear you down as a Rams player is down. Can't see the number at this point. Rams player is down.
Whoever it is, it's a huge blow for this Rams offense. I mean, anybody on this offense, obviously this offense have been one of the second highest scoring team in Virginia, so they've obviously have been clicking on all cylinders. You lose anybody, and it's a problem. So, I mean, they're definitely, our thoughts and prayers go out to that player. We'll find out who it is shortly, but hopefully he comes back in this game, and if not, hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
3:15, Rams up 7-0, second down and 5. At the 23-yard line. And Shaun, we're starting to say at the beginning of this drive, as you were saying, it's a great point you make. a lot of times Rams in the weeks before, there wasn't many plays that they were getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe one or two, but then they had these big 15-yard runs. Tonight, they've been very patient. They've been waiting their turn. They haven't just completely turned away from the running game, even getting stopped in a couple of drives. They can just keep going, and look how it opens up like this.
Definitely. I mean, that's like you said before. You have to have patience in order to play this game. In order to play this game, you have to have patience. It's Lars Stevenson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge blow for the Rams offense. One of the enforcers, as I was saying, he's the left guard of this offense. I mean, absolutely fantastic player, fantastic person. And as we can see, he seems to be getting up and walking off on his own, on kind of his own power. But still, I mean, no matter what it is, that's a huge blow for the Rams offense. It'll be hard replacing one of the enforcers, but look for whoever's backing up. I mean, Vossler has this team down pack, and offensive and defensive line coach Richter. I mean, Michael Richter. He is one of the best coaches and people that you will ever meet, and he definitely expects the best out of his offensive linemen. Not even if you're first string, but even if you're third. So look for this backup to still be able to put in the work that they need in order to succeed in this game tonight.
Roulette. Hands off to Denham up the middle. Gets a good chunk of yards over the first down yard line, over the 20 to about the 16, 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. Good run by Denham.
Great run by Marcus Denham. I mean, great again, and that was right over to where Lars Stevenson was. So I mean, obviously the backup is doing well. And that's good. Like I said, you can't expect. I mean, that's why you go in as scout-o on the defense, on the off, or in practice. Yeah, you don't like it when you're doing practice, but then you get opportunities like this to play in Friday Night Lights, biggest game of the year, in front of thousands of people. So you have to make sure that you're ready.
Roulette. Hands to Lauer this time up the middle. Tries a spin move, doesn't get much. Maybe 3 yards to about the 15-yard line this time. Be about 2nd and 7 for the Rams.
Another great run by the Rams. I mean, it's 2nd down and 6, which is, I mean, 4 yards is definitely well respected per carry. I mean, that's a good run. I mean, if every run you have is 4 yards or more, you are succeeding in the running category.
Yes, sir. This time, try to attempt to keep her by Roulette, taking it out immediately, and the flag is out.
Like I said, the tissues are flying tonight.
There you go, Shaun. That was a good fake, too. I was following the dive.
I was.
Possible holding call on the line. Not sure here. Don't want to speculate too much. So we'll know what the call is in about 5 seconds. $1:59 to go. Rams up 7-0. 2nd and 7 as it looms. The Rams will be backing up. This should be a holding. This type of territory, backing up 10 yards as they do. A chop block on the Rams.
Like I said, there's some penalties. I mean, penalties are going to happen in every game. Obviously, you do not want them. You want to limit them as much as possible. However, there are some penalties, man, that you just cannot allow, and clipping is one of them. You know when not to block somebody if their back's facing towards you, and that's just a bad decision by whoever it was.
Roulette. Handoff. Here's Denham. Gets a chunk of yard. Sideline. 5. Goal line. Wait for the call. Touchdown. Robinson. Marcus Denham coming from nowhere into the end zone. Rams up 13-0. Marcus Denham into the end zone. Can I get a witness, Shaun?
Oh, my goodness, Marcus Denham. That is now 8 touchdowns on the year for Marcus Denham. 8. Ocho. This hit is ridiculous. Like I said, he's extremely versatile. Had a great play tonight, not only on defense, now obviously on offense, and on special teams.
Two-point conversion, Shaun. Flag is out. Oh, my goodness. This is something we saw last week. The Rams like the swinging door, almost like an Orkin-style extra point. Last week, they were able to get Woodson on it. No one was over the side. Same play happened here. I don't know what the flag was. Everyone looked like they were set. It's a delay of game. Oh, my goodness.
That is definitely disheartening. I mean, that was a perfect play call. He was in the end zone. Nobody was there.
There was no question. He was all alone. And you can see how I know it was coming. All the Lake Braddock coaches were yelling to get over to that right side of that
exactly.
field, and no one saw it. Extra point coming from a little farther out this time. The snap, the hold, low kick, and it is no good. Rare miss from Aiden Rockwood. Maybe a bad hold, not sure what that was. It was a very low kick. Maybe just didn't get enough mustard on it. However, he misses the extra point. Your Rams are up 13-10. 1:39 to go, second quarter.
However, you can't. However, being a coach, you can't be too bad at Aiden Rockwood, obviously, for that, because not only was he backed up a little bit, but you were originally attempting to go for a 2-point conversion, which is always the possibility of you being stopped. I haven't seen that happen so far with the swinging door play, but that also left the possibility of us being up 13 instead of 14. So, but still, going back to that play, fantastic play call, first of all, by Vossler. I mean, that was a great reverse to Roman Lowry and then back to Denham. Roman Lowry had a little bit of trouble holding on to that ball, but was able to corral it and then give it to Marcus Denham. And then, like I said, the last remaining ones enforcer left on the field, Mason Velasquez, lead block for Marcus Denham, and then Marcus Denham with that track ability, jumping from the 4-yard line and diving and giving everything he has to get in that end zone. And he got in there. I mean, now, like I said, he now has 8 on the season.
And Rockwood, little squib kick again. Bounced off a Lake Braddock Bruin player. He has to dive on it. Takes it about the 36, 37-yard line. Good design, because it did bounce off a Lake Braddock Bruin player. The Rams could have had a chance to recover it. However, it did not work. And the Bruins will have good field position with about 1:36 to go. That
is one of the risks by having a squib kick. However, when you look at the two returners for the Lake Braddock, they're pretty similar when it comes to speed to the Robinson return game. I mean, you have A.J. Alexander, who obviously you know his speed, and then Dejon Lee, the running back, who has definitely proved himself to us tonight that he has explosiveness in his legs. So obviously they're trying to play it safe with the squib kick, and yeah, you give up field position, but at least you don't give up a long touchdown.
Here's Edwards. Takes a snap, looking for the pass, rolls out to the right, knocked down as he throws, looking for Turner, and the flag is down. A.J. Alexander was the one they're looking for. He was knocked by Roulette. Late flag coming, and that's definitely the area of pass interference.
That appears so. Wait a second. Oh, no, okay, yes, this...
There's a question. Maybe it's offensive pass interference. We're not sure.
We will allow the referees.
Pass interference, and it'll be on the defense. Jack Roulette is called for a little shoving there.
Obviously, I'm not going to disagree with the Zebras there on the field, but these are penalties that they're going to happen. I mean, that's just a bad luck penalty. I mean, that could have been called either way. What are you going to do? You just, like Jack said earlier in this game, you just have a short memory, and you just keep moving on to the next play. And if you can't make a positive impact on the last play, make a positive impact on this one.
1st and 10 over the 50 for the Bruins. Edwards takes snap, rolling out to the left this time. Floating one downfield, looking for Alexander, just out of his hands. That was a good pass. Had the accuracy, just not Alexander, not the speed, which is weird to say because he is one of the fastest men on the field.
He is. Edwards has a great arm. I mean, he's a gunslinger to say the least. I mean, he floated that ball up perfectly right over the back shoulder, or right over the shoulder, pardon me, of A.J. Alexander. And DeMarcus Birdsong, arguably one of the fastest players on this team, but with Marcus Denham, both guys running track. Obviously, he has the speed to stay with Alexander, so look for that matchup, as I said in the pregame, to be a big one going into this game. I mean, they've done a pretty good job. A.J. Alexander doesn't have a catch.
1:26, second quarter. Bruins driving over the 50. Edwards takes a snap, looking for the pass, floats one down the field, looking for Alexander again. Intercepted! Taken away by the Rams. That is Dirty Bird. DeMarcus Birdsong with the steal. Taken away. Let's give it right back to Jack Roulette.
I hate to say what I am right, but man, it feels good when I am. I'm going to tell you one thing. That is fantastic by DeMarcus Birdsong. Great. There was a bit of a miscommunication with the A.J. Alexander and Edwards. You could tell that obviously Edwards thought that he was just going to run a straight fly route going down the field in a streak. However, A.J. made a double cut move to kind of make the corner bite, and then Edwards had that ball laying as if he was going downfield, and Alexander wasn't able to get there in time. And DeMarcus Birdsong with great coverage was able to come up with the interception.
Roulette hand is up the middle. This time it's Foncha chugging away, gets 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 for the Rams. 1:11 to go. Wouldn't be surprised if the Rams just kind of ran it out, just going to the halftime. I wouldn't be sad having a 13-0 lead at halftime against this team.
I wouldn't either, but being the Lake Braddock game, man, you can't expect anything less than positive than going for a huge and going for more points. I mean, like I said before, points are like money. You always need more. I mean, you always want to put up more points, and the more points you can put up before going into halftime against this Bruins team, the better.
Roulette, hand off to Denham, chugging away at it, gets close to the first down mark. I think he's over as the rest are standing there. Shaun Foncha, that's what the carry there. My mistake. I thought it was Denham. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. 29 seconds to go. They're hurrying at it. You think they'll float one downfield here, or do you think they'll just keep running?
I don't know. I mean, being with the clock already running down, it appears that they're taking their sweet time. I think they're just going to take a knee here. Yep, they're in the victory formation. Obviously, being the end of the half, that is not the case, but we will hope for the best.
Knee taken. Clock will click down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll go into halftime. Your Robinson Rams are up 13-0 against the Lake Braddock Bruins. Brotherly night here in Burke, Virginia. Shaun, what do you like best about that first half?
Well, I absolutely love the effort on not only the offensive side, as we always see with this Ram squad, but on the defensive side. The defense has been doing absolutely outstanding against this high-powered and high-paced Lake Braddock Bruins offense. I mean, like I said before, A.J. Alexander doesn't have a catch yet, which is very rare. I mean, being an Ohio State committed, I mean, that's obviously, you have to do something. And then keeping Edwards to pretty low passing yardage as well. These Rams defense is doing a great job holding this Bruins offense at bay.
Going to the halftime, Rams up 13-0. Roman Lowry with the touchdown. Marcus Denham with his 8th touchdown of the year. Lake Braddock Bruins, zippity-doo-dah day, nothing here. We go into halftime. Jack Federici here to bring it with you with Shaun. Salehi will say he'll start the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake Braddock varsity dance team, the Golden Girls. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our visiting band from James W. Robinson, the Robinson Marching Band. They are under the direction of Andrew E. Roth and Margaret L. Amos. Tonight they will present a portion of their 2014 field show entitled Heroes, featuring music from the Man of Steel and Batman. Band Captain Johnny Sharp and Drum Major Madeline Kasseros, please salute and begin your show. The members and staff of the Lake Braddock family would like to thank you for your support in our annual Tag Day fundraiser we held Saturday, September 6th. Your generosity makes it possible for us to acquire the equipment and music necessary for us to continue to bring you quality musical performances. Now, please enjoy our show, Les Miserables, the adaptation of Victor Hugo's epic saga of social injustice and the struggle for redemption and revolution in 19th century France. It follows an ex-convict after his release from prison. While trying to live an honest life, he is relentlessly pursued by a ruthless policeman, meets a broken-spirited woman, and finds his own life completely changed as a result of his promise to care for her daughter. Here is Lake Braddock's performance of Claude Michael Schoenberg's music, Les Miserables. Drum majors Michaela Vino and Aaron Lee. Is the band ready?
Welcome back. We'll try to talk over the band here playing. They should be close here to being done with 2 minutes to go in this halftime report. Your Rams are up 13-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Braddock Bruins marching band. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome back to the field the Robinson Rams. Ladies and gentlemen, leading the Bruins back on the field is Katie, the daughter of Jay and Lisa Vaughn. Lisa's from the class of 1988. Katie has an 11-year-old sister named Kylie. Katie is being accompanied by her close friend, Lauren Poitras. Lauren is the daughter of late Braddock's head football coach, Jim Poitras. Katie was diagnosed at age 2 with stage 4 Burkitt's lymphoma. Burkitt's is the most aggressive and fastest growing form of human cancer. Katie underwent one of the strongest chemotherapy protocols out there for 9 months, and then continued to receive immune system support for about a year. Today she's a vibrant 9-year-old who loves gymnastics and has been a state medalist in the junior Olympic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Robinson Rams versus your Robinson Rams, versus the Lake Braddock Bruins. As the Rams lead 13-0 over the Bruins going into this second half. What I liked about the last half was the defensive stability of the Rams. I mean, you have to look at the high-powered and high-tempo offense that this Bruin team possesses, and obviously they're definitely well respected, and the Rams have been holding them fairly well. I mean, they've held them to no points. A.J. Alexander has no catches, and there's minimal passing yards, and the running game isn't much of a factor. So, really, the defense has been clicking on all cylinders, and then obviously we don't even need to talk about how well the offense is doing. They always do that well. And then even the special teams, they're giving 100%. They're doing what they need to do, and the Rams are doing what they need to do right now to walk away tonight with the win.
Shaun, your Rams are up 13-0. One of those touchdowns coming from Mr. Touchdown himself, Marcus Denham. Now, but talk to me about his versatility for tonight. He's scored touchdowns, but he's making some great special teams plays and great defensive plays as well.
Well, when you look at Marcus Denham, like I said before, he is an extremely versatile player. I mean, he was, obviously, we all know, as you said, Mr. Touchdown. He makes all the plays in the world that you would want coming from the offensive running back position, but obviously, on defense, as he's proven in this game, he's a great safety, too. I mean, he was at the corner position last year, but he moved to safety this year. Great play on that fourth down attempt earlier in the game. Able to kick the Bruins off the field and get the first touchdown drive started. And then he had a partial block punt on special teams. So really, every single facet of this game, Marcus Denham has had an impact on it, and it's been a positive one, too.
One really can you look at the teammates can look at him and be like, let's follow his lead. That's not just on offense but defense as well. That's an unbelievable job by him.
Definitely. I mean, you gotta definitely give him kudos. He's one of the leaders of this team, and obviously the school loves him. I mean, everybody. I mean, like I said, like we always say, he's a great guy. But I mean, he's the star now. He's the go-to guy when it comes to this Rams offense, and other teams are starting to catch on, and he's gonna have to learn that he's gonna be in the spotlight a little bit more. I mean, obviously he was kind of overshadowed by some of the older running backs with Joe Wilson and Darius Grady the past few years, but now it's his time to shine. And look for him to definitely take that with a grain of salt and keep moving forward and stay humble and keep making an impact positively to this Rams squad.
Scoreless first quarter. All Rams second quarter. The Lake Braddock Bruins will take it to start the second half. Shaun, look out for them to come firing, especially led by Edwards and Lee.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Edwards is a gunslinger, like I said before. Lee is a very versatile back. He's obviously very fast. He's very quick on his feet, low center of gravity. However, he does pack a punch. I mean, he can lay down the wood when he needs to. But then, obviously, on the outside, you have a guy like A.J. Alexander standing at 6'4", 220 pounds. A.J. Alexander is a monster, commit to Ohio State. I mean, he is definitely... Yep, D1 athlete. I mean, that's obviously, you're a star if you're a D1 athlete. He's the Marcus Denham of this Lake Braddock team. He's the star. And everybody, and so as much as Lake Braddock trying to key on Marcus Denham, we're keying on A.J. Alexander. Only we've been able to hold A.J. Alexander to no catches and not have an impact on this game offensively. Well, obviously, Mr. Touchdown has done what he needs to do by helping this Ram squad be up by 13 going into the second half.
The Bruins will take it. The D1 athlete himself, A.J. Alexander, back to the return along with Dejon Lee. And you've been saying we've contained him so far. Let's keep him contained. Yeah, as we start the second half, it's another squib kick, keeping it out of the hands of those star running backs. Taking him at the 35 to the 40, and then knocked down there. See kind of a give or take call there, Shaun. It was a squib kick, so obviously they're going to have good field position, but at the same time, you keep the hands out of Alexander's hands.
Exactly like what we talked about before. I mean, it's worth it because, you're giving up field position, but the way this defense has been playing so far in this game, why not give them field position? As long as you don't allow them to get into scoring range, let them get all the field position that they want.
Here's Edwards. Hands off to Lee, and he is met immediately. No, he gets it himself. 45 to the 50, and they knock down there. Good 11-yard run by Edwards, taken down by Mr. Touchdown himself, Marcus Denham. And great fake. He faked me as well, kept himself on that right side.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing at this Bruins offense definitely uses a lot. It's like their bread and butter. It's the read option play. Dejon Lee being a very quick back. I mean, and Edwards can run too. He's got a good set of legs, so look out for that option.
Edwards, hand off the Lee this time. Gets a chunk of yards over the 50 to the 35-yard line. That'll be another 15-yard run for Lee. First and 10, Lake Braddock. And 2 plays in a row, big chunks of yards. First coming from Edwards, then from Lee. See, the Bruins are really coming out firing in the second half.
And I guarantee you that was the exact same play call. It's a read option. The only difference is that, I mean, it's pretty much it's a 50-50 play. If the guy on the outside rushes into the quarterback, he gives it to the running back. If he rushes into the running back, quarterback keeps it.
Hand off Lee left side. 35 knocked down hard. Flag is down. 11-16 third quarter.
And I'll give him the lead. Flag on the play.
See what the flag is. It's about a 4-yard run, or maybe 2 for Lee. Tissues are flying, as you said before, Shaun.
As I said, this is going to be a tough game.
It'll be a face mask call against Robinson, and yet again, the Bruins just start crawling along. Not necessarily a crawl here; it's a couple leaps.
Oh no! I mean, they're bounding down the field right now, but that's a penalty. You can't have any personal foul penalties. You cannot allow to give itself 15 yards is huge. I mean, you can't, especially being in their own territory, being in your territory, you can't give up that kind of penalty.
2-by-2 set for the Bruins. Hand off again this time, Lee, and Patrick Robinson takes him down in the backfield, making a game maybe 1. That's it this time for Lee. It'll be second down and about 3.
Good read that time by Patrick Robinson on that option play. He made it appear that he was going to rush the quarterback, making the quarterback automatically feed it to the running back, and then he broke off going to the quarterback and was able to make that tackle in the backfield.
10:38 to go in the third quarter. 2-by-2 set. Here's Edwards. Takes the snap. Hand off to Lee this time. No, he keeps it. Doesn't matter who had the ball that time. Both the quarterback and the running back were taken down with absolute force. I believe Patrick Robinson had the stop. I think Lee had that ball.
Hey, I mean, it's good to make sure either both people were down. No possibilities of anybody with the ball moving downfield. So, I mean, you might as well tackle both people.
Hey, that's not a bad call at all. Either quarterback or running backs want to have it. Hey, why not tackle both?
Yeah, 100%.
100% guarantee
100%
there.
guarantee. There you
That's
go.
what coaches love to see there. Definitely defensively. It'll be third down and about 7 to go. 2-by-2 set. Edwards looks for the pass. Rolling right. Under pressure now. He might take off. Throw it downfield. Caught by Turner. Or Alexander, I should say. Along the 20-yard line. And there he is, making a difference. Alexander getting the first down at the 20-yard line.
So first catch of the game for A.J. Alexander. Obviously, they've been doing a good job so far, holding him now only to one catch. But however, being now deep in your own territory, you got to make a defensive stop here, and you can't let the momentum swing after halftime going into the Bruins' favor.
2-by-2 set. Handoff this time to Lee. Taken down near the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard. Flag goes a-flying.
Handoff given to number 4, Dejon Lee. Flag on the play.
Holding on the Bruins will back him up. Negating the 2-yard run by Lee. 9:25 to go. Third quarter. 13-10. Rams are up. But the Bruins are driving in the red zone.
As I always say, Rams have been put in situations like this before. You have to keep your head, keep your composure, make sure that you have a short memory. I mean, they're driving the ball down the field. However, you have to realize that you've only allowed them to really go about 35 yards, given the good field position they were able to start off with. So it really hasn't been that bad. However, you took the risk on the squib kick starting the half because you had a good faith in your defense. You need to back that up by producing on defense, and that's what that defense needs to do right now, holding them out of field goal range and keep the shutout going.
9:15 to go. 1st and 21. Trips out to the left. Edwards, screen pass to Lee. He has it at 30, cutting back now, then knocked down on the line of scrimmage. Great play by the Rams secondary, holding him to maybe 2 yards.
That was a great hit, as my good friend, Mr. Goods would always say. That was a slobber knocker right there. That was a huge hit. That was a huge hit there by Nick Roth, blowing him up after only a 3-yard gain. Good containment by Nick Roth.
Alexander checking back into this game for the Bruins. 2nd and 18 to go for the Bruins. 8:35. Trips out to the right this time. Edwards still in the shotgun. Takes a pass. Rolls out to the left. Now looking right. Steps up under pressure. And he's taken down. Patrick Robinson knocks him down. Sack for the Rams. It'll be 3rd and the size of Texas to go.
There you go. I mean, Patrick Robinson doing very well at the outside linebacker position. They were playing a zone coverage. We call it buzz at Robinson. They were playing a zone coverage. Patrick Robinson had the middle of the field. For the containment down in the middle of the field for the zone. He was able to read. Nobody came into his zone. Saw that the quarterback was being pressured, and he was able to go in and fake the final blow for the sack.
Trips right, handoff to Lee. No keeper for Edwards. Going to the 25, looking for the 20. Knocked down. Good quarterback keeper. Gets about 7 yards. However, he only gets halfway through the state of Texas. And it'll be 4th and long for the Bruins.
4th in Austin, Texas, as he would say, halfway through Texas. But one thing when you look at this though is that obviously if they're not going to go for it here, which I can imagine them possibly doing, as
I wouldn't be surprised.
They have the offense still on the field, but if they weren't, if that was the situation, they are in field goal range. It's a long field goal by means, but they are in field goal range.
7 minutes to go, 13-0. The Bruins will go for it on 4th and 15. Edwards takes a pass. Going to take off with it. No, coming back out to the right side. He is knocked down. Hello, good morning, goodbye. The Rams get the stop on 4th down. Get the ball to Roulette. We're going on offense, ladies and gentlemen.
Another great stop by this Rams defensive squad. When you look at Edwards, he kind of was stuck. I mean, he had, as you could hear the Lake Braddock sideline or crowd getting a little restless here after second failed fourth down attempt. When you could see that Edwards was conflicted whether or not he wanted to run with that ball or take it back for a pass, and that indecision ended up leading to that sack.
Roulette. Hand off to Denham, right side, cuts it upfield to about the 25-yard line, 27 now. Good run by Marcus Denham. Gets about 6 yards. 6:37 to go, 13-0. Rams up, third quarter.
They're still averaging about 3 yards per carry with the runs for the Robinson Rams offense. So the running game is still working, even though it doesn't appear so. I mean, we're not having the huge double-digit, almost triple-digit runs that we're seeing from the running backs that we're used to, but it's still working and being very effective.
Roulette. Hand out to Lowry this time, jumping over the defender, up over to the 35-yard line. First down and 10 for the Rams.
As Lowry got hit so hard, his helmet, his hat came off, his hard hat. And luckily they have a new rule where if you do lose your helmet, you have to come out for a play. Good for player safety, keeps everybody in the game. And so now we're going to see probably a backup in Eddie Akwevi come in, or Matt Peffer. Matt Peffer coming in as backup.
Both players that came in last week at the end of the game and made a difference.
Definitely. That's the thing about this team. They have depth.
Here's Roulette. Hand off Foncha this time, blowing through a couple of players. See some hats flying there. Gets about 5 yards over the 40-yard line, and a flag is down. Napkins keep flying tonight, as Shaun said. Is another flag, late flag. It's going to be either a personal foul, probably.
You're looking at a rivalry game. I mean, it's getting a little chippy out there, being late. It's starting to go halfway through the third quarter, and we're up by 2 touchdowns. And I mean, you have to imagine them getting a little restless. But just like I always say with the Rams, if I was going to say anything against the Bruins, as we see, this is an unsportsmanlike conduct against the Lake Braddock Bruins, resulting in a first down for the Rams. Like I say with the Rams defense, Bruins defense has to keep their heads too. If they're going to definitely throw this game away if they just keep losing their composure and allowing these penalties to dictate this game. I mean, they were able to drive down the field last possession and almost get into scoring range, and then luckily the Rams were able to hold them on that defensive stop. However, if the defense continues to keep causing penalties like this, that's gonna end up being the death of them, and they're not gonna have a chance to come back. Because I mean, the Rams' offense, like I said, one of my keys to the game is ball possession. They're chewing this clock down, and they're gonna keep the ball as long as they can.
45-yard line for Jack Roulette. Takes the snap, hand off at the middle is Foncha. He's gonna have some holes up to the 40 to the 37-yard line, taken down 7 yards on the run by Shaun Foncha. 5:28 to go, 13-0 Rams. 2nd and 3.
Good run by Shaun Foncha. Once again, he's being an absolute great fullback for this Rams squad. I mean, if you don't want to think of Joe Wilson, which I will always compare him to, and Avon Johnson as well. I mean, he's at the fullback position. He is a hard hitter, but he's also got some speed to him.
Here's Roulette. Hand this time Denham, stretch way out to the right, cuts it upfield, 35, then knocked down just over the first down mark. He had a chance to take it all the way. He was just taking down at the shoelaces.
Yeah, it's a shoestring tackle, just like you said. I mean, those are the tackles that's a touchdown-saving tackle right there. He only had one other guy to beat, which he probably would have done with the crazy agility that he has. And that was a good run by Marcus Denham, and another great lead block from Mason Velasquez and the enforcers on this Rams offensive line.
4:50 to go. Third quarter. Your Rams are driving at the 35-yard line. Roulette takes the snap. Hand off Shaun Foncha. Chugging away. Gets about 4 yards close to the 30-yard line. And it'll be taken down. Oh, scratch that. That was Dejon Lee for the Rams. Another big body in there.
Dejon Lee for the Rams. So,
there's too many Dejons tonight.
There are. And you can obviously see the passion on Dejon with him being upset about something that happened during that play. They had to take him out. But still, I mean, you could just see now, and he's only a junior, you can only imagine the passion and the adrenaline that's flowing through these players' bodies, especially the seniors, like I said before, this being their last big rivalry game of their careers.
Here's Roulette. Hand this time to Lowry. Stretch play to the left. Tries to cut it upfield. Doesn't have a chance. He's taken down behind the line of scrimmage by number 9, of the Bruins defense. It'll be 3rd and long for the Rams.
That reminds me pretty much of like the play where the first fourth down stop when Marcus Denham came from the safety position and blitzed and was able to stop the running back in the backfield. Pretty much same ordeal here. Number 9, King Scott from the safety for the Bruins came in with the blitz and was able to stop him in the backfield. Good stop by the Bruins. Rams now have a 3rd down and long, just outside of field goal range. Ada Rockwood has a huge leg, so if they can even just get a few yards up, they don't even have to get a first down, they'll do well.
Handoff. Shaun Foncha getting a good chunk of yards over the 25-yard line, close to that first down. From the area we have it here, Shaun, he might be an inch or two short, and they're calling it 4th down, but good run by Shaun Foncha.
I can only see them going for it. There's no way they're not going to go for this. I mean, the running game has been too well, and it does appear that they are going for it. And I see Jack Roulette running a QB sneak, and if not, watch something possibly to the outside. However, great awareness by Shaun Foncha. He was starting to get tripped up, but he was able to put that hand in the dirt and keep going forward for that extra yard.
Roulette trying to draw him offside. He takes a timeout. Interesting call there.
Hey,
everyone's stacked up on the line for the Bruins. Chance to talk it over, possibly for the Rams. I believe Roulette would have been able to get that.
That's always a good call, a hard count call. I mean, there's never a designated play where you just line up in a base formation and the quarterback just tries to draw him off sides. And luckily, with the thing with that play is that there shouldn't be any possibility of anybody having a false start because everybody knows that you won't move at all. And if it doesn't work, the quarterback will take a timeout, as we saw Jack Roulette just do, and they'll talk it over, and now they'll just have another opportunity to probably just take. I mean, they have to go like about the length of the football forward for this first down. So watch a quarterback sneak, like I said, and if not that, something up the middle with probably Shaun Foncha.
2:34, 3rd quarter. 4th down and 1. Probably less than 1, though, Shaun. Rams have a chance to continue this great drive that started deep in their own territory.
Yep. A big, long drive like this, chewing the clock down. That's a absolutely great fundamental football by this Rams team, being up by 2 scores.
It all comes down to this. Here's Roulette under center. Keeps it himself. Chugging away at it. He's going to have the first down. Great job by Roulette.
Great second and then third effort by Jack Roulette. He went for the initial dive, wasn't able to get it, ran into his own man, went for another dive and was able to spin around the outside block and then dove for at least a gain of 3. I mean, that's one thing you see a lot with the Ravens quarterback, Joe Flacco. I mean, he's 6'6". Jack Roulette obviously is not 6'6", but obviously he is a big-bodied guy. He can just fall down and have a first down. That's definitely a benefit of having a big-body quarterback like Jack.
Roulette hands off, stretch play to Denham, looking to cut it upfield. Has a chance now to the 20, sideline over to the 15, out of bounds, close to the first down mark. Good run by Marcus Denham. That stretch play just about killing every team they try at.
I don't know what copyright laws apply here, but I don't care. IHOP is officially sponsored. This offensive line is officially sponsored by IHOP because Mason Velasquez just had a huge pancake right there with some syrup on the side. You know what? I will await the bill. I will be okay seeing the bill from IHOP. I mean, that was a great double pancake. He actually knocked the first defensive lineman of the Bruins into the second, causing them both to be tripped up, and then allowing Marcus Denham to run out the outside edge.
We're waiting on someone down at the sideline here.
Is that Marcus?
And he gets up under his own power. That is Marcus Denham, but he looks to get up easily.
The heart of this guy is crazy. I mean, you just see as soon as he even moved, and the crowd, our unit went crazy. They know and he knows that he's going to get back in this game. He's definitely not going to leave this game, even if he had 2 broken legs. He's going to finish this game.
You have to crawl. You have to tear him off this field. There'll be claw marks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Here's Roulette. Hand off Lowry. Going to have a chance to the 5-yard line, then taken down, just barely tripped up. Almost had a chance to walk on in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely hear the frustration on the Lake Braddock side, not only from the fans, but the silence from the sideline. There doesn't seem to be the same passion. The student section is definitely the quietest I've ever heard it.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, but the R unit and everybody on the Robinson side, they're pumped up seeing this long drive being produced by their Rams.
Roulette Handoff Lowry cuts it back up outside to the right, chugging away at it, gets close to the 3-yard line. It's going to be third and very close to that goal line.
I have a new nickname for Roman Lowry. Steamrolling Roman Lowry. I mean, that's a tongue twister right there, but still, I mean, he's knocked over at least 4 or 5 Bruins tonight and has then gone for an additional 5 yards after each hit. I mean, he's got a huge yards after hit ratio right now. And, I mean, you can't stop. I mean, once his wheels get chugging, you can't stop the engine.
We hear that nickname one more time, though, Shaun. I don't think I'm going to be able to say it.
Steamroller Roman Lowry.
Handoff, Foncha dives for the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, Robinson. Shaun Foncha, the next Joe Wilson, is in. Your Rams are up 19-0, 109, third quarter. Hallelujah. It is Shaun Foncha.
Actually, believe it or not, sadly, that was Deshaun Lee.
No, oh my goodness. I apologize, Shaun.
Hey, you know what? You know what, though? They're only one number apart. It's 26, 27.
There's
whatever.
20s out here,
yeah,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Either way, your Rams got a touchdown. That's all that matters. And being up now by at least 3 scores in this game as we will wait this extra point, that is huge.
Rockwood, the snap, the hold. Kick is up and is blocked. This extra point is blocked. The score will remain 19-0 with 109 in the third quarter. Deshaun Lee, the good Deshaun Lee in this case, scores for your Robinson Rams. We are up 19-0 with 109 in the third quarter. Excellent drive that started deep in Robinson's own territory, and they just chucked it out with all the runs.
That was an 8-minute drive, which in high school is a very long time. That's over 3 quarters. That's over 75% of a quarter. Can't really. And when you really, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to struggle with math, but we will try.
Second week back.
We will try our best. However, when that was a great drive, like I said, with my keys to the game, they kept the ball. They went for it on 4th down. They chewed the clock down, and now with only 1 minute and 9 seconds left in the third quarter, they're about to go into the fourth quarter up by 19 points. That's three scores. That's at least 3 touchdowns. That's a fantastic lead going into the last quarter of the biggest game of the season.
We apologize to any math teachers listening to this broadcast right now, as Shaun and I are still rusty with our calculations here.
We are. We will just stick strictly to football.
Yeah, we'll stay to calling these games.
Yeah.
Aiden Rockwood out to boot it away. 19-0 Rams, 109 third quarter. Another squib kick coming. It's going to find its way to Alexander. He takes it 20. Here's 25 coming out to the right side, now coming upfield. 30, 35, might have a chance. Here he goes to the 45-yard line and finally taken down. Good return. He takes a while to get up. And A.J. Alexander is down.
That would be a huge blow for this Lake Braddock offense. I mean, he's obviously the biggest player on this team, the star of this team. I mean, that'd be a huge blow, not only offensively but defensively for this team. And well, as for any Ram, I mean, we will definitely pray and hope for the best, that he definitely is okay and not severely hurt.
Exactly a minute to go in this third quarter. Your Rams are up 19-0. Last touchdown coming from Deshaun Lee. Other ones were from Marcus Denham and Roman Lowry.
That is now three different, as we see A.J. Alexander come off the field under his own power. That's a good sign for the Bruins. Hope that he recovers quickly and hopefully can come back into this game being a huge game for him, being a senior, last rivalry game.
It looks like he's just cramping there, how they're stretching him out.
Hopefully so for this Bruins team. I mean, like I said, he's the biggest part of this team. I mean, we're really going to see how Edwards and Lee can run this offense without the help of A.J. Alexander.
2-by-2 set. Edward has it. Rolling out to the right, looking for the pass. Throwing it now to 88. He can't connect. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Good zone coverage again by the Rams defense. Had pretty much every single option covered. Tight end was the check down last read for the quarterback to go to. Threw it. A little bit of the ball seemed to slip a little bit on him and throw it straight into the dirt. But again, still good defense by the Robinson Rams.
And Shaun, we're starting to see down 19-0 going close to the fourth quarter. Lake Braddock's kind of going away from that run. They're looking much more pass, especially those last couple of drives.
Definitely, because if there's an incomplete pass, the clock stops. They're trying to preserve as much clock as possible, and they're trying to get plays quick and get plays and get big plays quick. I mean, that's the goal.
Edwards taking it, still looking for the pass. Floating one down the field, has a man wide open, and it is caught at the 5-10 goal line, taken down. Ball is loose. Ball is loose in the end zone. Who has it? Who has it? It is going to be, I believe, the Rams.
They're signaling a stoppage of time.
Touchdown. It is a touchdown called. Long pass from Edwards, finds his wide receiver number 10, goes to the 5-yard line. He fumbles the ball. They say a Lake Braddock Bruins player recovered it in the end zone. The shutout is over. The Bruins get 6 points on the board.
Hey, great job by Edwards. I mean, he was flushed out of the pocket, and that's one of those plays where it's hard for a defensive back, especially me personally being a defensive back, looking at them, and when a play starts breaking down and the quarterback has to maneuver out the pocket, as we see a high kick.
High snap, the number 3 has to roll out to the right, going to the goal line. He might be in, and he is. A play that looked like nothing turns into something. 2-point conversion. That is Connor Anderson for the Bruins. 19-8 is the score. Go ahead, Shaun.
That's big. That's actually really big. That doesn't appear to be a design play call, but it worked in their favor. And I mean, if they can score another touch, that turns it into possibly just another touchdown with a 2-point conversion and then a field goal, and they're right back in this game. So, but anyway, going back to to the touchdown play. Now, being a defensive back, I really feel bad for the secondary of this Rams defense, because I mean, once the quarterback starts being flushed out of the pocket and coverage starts to break down, and once coverage starts to break down, you start kind of losing your man. I mean, you've been running around the field the entire play now as fast as you can, and you're just going to start kind of easing up on the receiver, thinking that the quarterback's going to be sacked. And that's sadly what happened, and the receivers didn't let up. And luckily for Edwards, he was able to find receiver downfield and heave it downfield with a prayer and was able to find his receiver. However, great effort by Jack Roulette and Marcus Denham to still go for the tackle, and Jack Roulette with the huge hit to force that ball out and possibly get a turnover on that play.
42 seconds to go in the third. The Bruins kick it off. They booted it out. This one won't count. It's going to be an offsides call on the Bruins. They'll have a chance to try it again here, Shaun.
They will, but it'll be backed up, and which gives a smaller opportunity for a touchback. And obviously, we have 2 of some of the best returners in the league. So this is definitely something that they will probably not want to do. And you might look at the Lake Braddock team to possibly take a page out of the Rams book. Or possibly.
Offsides called against Robinson.
There's offsides on Robinson. Our mistake here, ladies and gentlemen.
Pardon me. Okay, now there is a greater chance of a touchback.
There we go. There's probability. There's our math coming in handy right there.
There we go.
As Matt Peffer and Birdsong back there to take it. Booming kick is going to go toward the side of Birdsong. He's going to take it out. Here he is at the 5, to the 10, goes towards the sideline. Jumping down his own player that time, getting over the 20, taking it about the 22-yard line. He had a good chance, but he ran over his own player.
I mean, that's just something that, I mean, you can't really blame him for that. He didn't have much room to go out. He couldn't really bounce that back out to the other far side of the field. He just wanted to cut it up north, get as many yards as he could. And even though it's at the 21-yard line, so I mean, it still is 1 yard better than it would be a touchback. So you still can't complain. Yep, there you go.
Last half full there, Shaun.
There you go.
36 seconds to go in the third. 19-8 for the Rams. Roulette. Rams trying to shift a little bit here. As a handoff up the middle. Fanshaw, I do believe, who got the handoff. Doesn't get much, maybe 3 yards. It'll be second down and about 8.
As the clock starts winding down here in the third quarter, look, and like I said, with the clock winding down in the third quarter, I mean, the Rams have now had the ball for about 75% of this half. So, because I mean, the first drive for the Bruins opening up the half was a big, as the clock runs down, and it's now the end of the third quarter with your Rams up 19-8 over the Lake Braddock Bruins. As I was saying, though, when you look at the Rams, they've been having, like I said, they've had the ball for about 75 to 85% this half. The first drive by the Bruins opening up the half was great. They were able to drive down the field, chew up some clock. However, they weren't able to convert on fourth down. And then the Rams had a fantastic drive going 80 yards down the field and pretty much took up over half the quarter. And then the Bruins, their last drive, they were able to score pretty quickly, which is exactly what they wanted to do. And look for this fourth quarter to have the Rams once again try to go with keeping the ball, running it down their throat, and try to run this game back home.
Second quarter dominated by the Rams. Third quarter, at least a half of it, the first 8 minutes were dominated by the Rams. However, this last little surge of the third quarter, a long touchdown scored by the Lake Braddock Bruins. Now have a chance to stop the Rams down deep as the Rams have second and long, deep in their own territory. We bring you to the start of the fourth. Your Rams are up 19-8.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the Rams have to make sure that they do keep their composure here after giving up that big play. Don't ease up. Don't start getting nervous. You're still up. Exactly what I am talking about. These are the kinds of things that you cannot do. I mean, you can't let the game to get to you. False start on Patrick Esposito. You cannot let these kind of things happen. I mean, that's exactly what I said. You have to make sure that you get your mindset right. The last play did not exist. It is now a 0-0 ball game, and you are just trying to keep the ball for yourself. And as long as you have that mindset, you will do well in this sport.
First play of the fourth quarter, the Rams back up a bit. Here's Roulette. Handoff this time to Lowry. He is met at the line of scrimmage. Great surge by the defensive line of the Lake Braddock Bruins. It'll be third and long, looming for the Rams.
Not only do the Rams have to keep their composure, but they have to cut off the now huge momentum swing that is going towards the Lake Braddock Bruins. I mean, that big play. I mean, with A.J. Alexander going down on the kickoff, that sucks some even more life out of them. Then you have a big play revitalizing their team, and you have to make sure that they don't get their hopes up, because otherwise they're going to be playing on an energy level that you can't match, and that's never a good situation.
Here's Roulette. Makes a handoff, rolling out to the right for the pass. Has all day. Heaving it downfield. Flag is out, looking for Grant. He goes up for it and is knocked down. Great effort by Grant. There's a flag down close to Roulette. We're not sure what it has. A couple of Lake Braddock Bruins are going over to their teammates, bring them away from Robinson Rams.
Want to make
a lot of chatting going on.
Want to make sure that they don't risk further penalty. I don't want to speculate, like I said, but I can imagine this being possibly roughing the passer, being in the vicinity of Jack Roulette, and given the reaction from the Lake Braddock Bruins. Let's see for the call.
Waiting for the call here. Holding on the Rams. And there's two fouls. It's going to be a sportsmanlike conduct. We'll just offset here, Shaun?
It would offset restarting the play. However, now it is third. However, they will keep. I do not. They have the marker right now, the down marker at the third down. But if it was offsetting penalties, it would remain second down. So a little bit of confusion going on with the down situation here. But as that's happening, fantastic throw by Jack Roulette. Other side of the field. Grant did have a chance, being double covered, and that was still an immaculately thrown ball right in the middle of two defenders. And like you said, that hit Grant right in the hands. Only the defenders were able to get their hands in between. However, he was on the other side of the field by his own sideline and had to heave it across the field 50 yards, and he had some air to it. And that was absolutely while he was on the run. So fantastic throw by Jack Roulette.
They are backing up the Rams, in fact, here. It will be third down. They're going a while back. We'll see what the explanation here is from the referee.
Sometimes they just have to do this in order to make sure they have the ball placement right.
Holding on the Rams. On Sportsline on the Bruins. And the ball stays right where it was before, so not sure what the call is. We don't have mics on the referees tonight. It'll be third and 8 for the Rams. And Shaun, on that play, Roulette did make a great pass. However, I believe he might have had some room to run. He could have tucked that.
Oh, I mean, well, looking at the play, I mean, he did have eons of time. However, he did start getting rushed from the edge after about 3 or 4 seconds. It was a play designed to go deep. Navaris Grant was about the only receiver downfield, and he was deep down the field. So really, Jack didn't have many checkdowns to go to. However, after about 5 seconds, he was getting rushed, and it started flushing him closer and closer to the sideline, which then limits the amount of room that he has to go and take it upfield and tuck it and run. So I do give him props for throwing it, and that was, like I said before, that was an amazing throw by Jack Roulette.
Bruins are stacking the line here. Roulette. Hand off to Denham, right side, has to stretch. Might have some running, blocks out in front. Denham, 30-yard line, diving for the first down mark. I believe he's a yard short. Great effort by Marcus Denham.
What else is new?
What else is new? There you go, Shaun. It's probably going to be 4th down and short here by a yard. Do the Rams go for it?
I can only imagine so. I mean, the Rams went for it last time. I mean, they have. I can't see them not going for it on this, as they probably as they are going to bring out the chains for a measurement, which is very rare. I don't believe we have seen that actually this season.
I don't think so, Shaun.
All spotted close to the 31-yard line. Timeout for a measurement.
It is close. However, I think he is a yard short. I would not be surprised if he is short that the Rams go for it. A game like this.
Same. However, this measurement timeout does give them a chance to think about it, though. There is still a lot of time left in this game, and if by chance you do end up not converting on this 4th down, as they do mark him literally a foot short, if you do by some chance not convert this, you are now allowing the Bruins to start with 10:54 left in the 4th quarter, only down by a 2-point conversion with a touchdown and a field goal, to be pretty much just outside of their own red zone. So this is definitely going to be a hard call for Vossler to make. However, I do still see him taking the chance of going for it.
Roulette's still on the field. I don't see Rockwood anywhere close. Oh, there goes Roulette. He might just be talking to Vossler, though. 10:54, 4th quarter, 4th and 1 to go for the Rams at the 31-yard line. They're going to go for it here.
Biggest play of the game. I mean, this is a make or break. This is honestly, I mean, both sides of the field are completely silent, because honestly, with the stop, this revitalizes the Bruins. With the conversion, this revitalizes the Rams.
Here they go. Roulette under center. Handoff. Lowry dives for it. He's close. No, they're calling it Bruins ball. He was tripped up, I believe, Shaun.
He was.
He's tripped up. It's going to be Bruins ball. Handoff to Lowry is no good. He's tripped up just short of the first down. And Shaun, here's where it comes into play. The Bruins will have the ball at the 30, only down by 9.
Like I said, I mean, down by 9. That's not good. Obviously, I mean, that's something that you cannot allow to happen. And like I said, that was a possibility. This was a possibility going for it. And this is the risk that they took, so they're going to have to make sure that they don't pay for it.
Edwards keeps him himself after a failed pass attempt. Along the sideline to the 25-yard line, steps out, 5-yard rush on a designed pass and a good scramble by Edwards.
You can definitely tell that Edwards has taken a few of those big shots from the Rams defense on Edwards has gotten to him. He is being very lenient and very conservative when he chooses to scramble. He was going face to face with Nick Roth and decided to immediately turn left to the sideline.
I would too if I saw Nick Roth right there. Here's
I don't blame you.
Screen pass out to Lee. 25-yard line, cuts up and knocked down. Good open field tackle by the other Dejan Lee.
Dejan Lee destroying Dejan Lee. I mean, it is.
Quote us on that one, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a headline right there. That's fantastic. I mean, that was a great hit by Dejan Lee. A safety converted into middle linebacker. He's really grown into this position and really excelled as well.
3rd and 3, 10 minutes to go. Spread offense for the Bruins. Quarterback keeper, he shovels along, getting close to the 20-yard line, close to the first down mark. But the reaction of the Rams sideline, I believe they are short.
They are. If you're looking at Patrick Robinson, fantastic effort. He wasn't able to cut him from. He wasn't able to cut an angle preventing him from getting to the first down. However, he was able to catch him from behind and then pull him back. And now it's a 4th down and 1. And now the Bruins, while taking a timeout, now face a similar decision to that of the Rams just took, going for it on 4th and 1. However, now the Bruins have it in field goal range.
And once again, there's really no doubt in my mind the Bruins will go for it. Down by 9. They're going to need some points here, especially with time that the Rams can chew out with this running game. However, they're going to take a chance to figure out what the Rams need to do. It's tough against this a pass-based team like the Bruins, because after a run we just saw from Edwards, he has a chance to take it inside. But if you stack that box, you're really leaving guys like Alexander out wide open.
You really are. I mean, that's something that you always have to think about. However, I think the reason that the Bruins are having such a long conversation is that as much as they are going to go for it. However, this is going to be a big risk, because if they didn't go for it and went for the safe field goal, that would put them in that would only have them down by less than a touchdown, and that's guaranteed points, or not guaranteed points, but more easier points to convert, obviously. So this is a big decision by the Bruins.
Here we go. 2-by-2 set. Lee in the backfield. Edwards. Snap. Quarterback keeper himself. He has some push, and he's over the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Lake Braddock.
The Bruins kind of combined the past 2 previous attempts on that 4th down by the Rams. They added a hard count, and when the hard count wasn't able to, they did draw some Rams players. However, they did not cross the neutral zone enough to get the fall. So what they decided to do is then just have a quarterback sneak after the hard count, and a big body guy like Edwards was able to just kind of fall down and get over that line.
3-by-2 formation with 3 out to the left. Here's Edwards. Takes the snap. Look for the pass. Step into the pocket. Floats for the end zone now. Overthrown completely. We're going to get it incomplete. No flag. There's probably going to be an uncatchable call on that one. It was way out of the end zone.
That was not only uncatchable, but that was incidental contact. Yep. As you can hear, the Bruins fans absolutely irate with the call. I do believe that was a good call, though, not just being obviously for the Rams, but I do believe that was a good call, being neutral, because he was the DeMarcus Birdsong and the receiver kind of bumped into each other incidentally, causing him to trip up. They couldn't have prevented that. Good call by the referee.
Edwards looking for the pass, flowing in the middle of the field, looking for Lee, incomplete, and he took an absolute shot by Matt Strain.
Absolutely great hit by Matt Strain. I mean, and as you can see, I mean, Edwards is still trying to shake the cobwebs out. I mean, these hits start accumulating after a certain period of time, and with their 9 minutes and 9 seconds still left in this game, he's still got a while to go. And man, these Rams, they're definitely going to try to give it to him.
3rd and 10, 9:09 to go in the 4th. They take it. Here's Edwards rolling out to the left. Taken down in the backfield. That is Donnie Warder coming on the blitz. Unbelievable play. Edwards is taken down. He doesn't know whether to cry or wind his watch.
Donnie Warder, sophomore, star-on freshman, just made one of probably the biggest play of his life. I mean, we saw him have a huge play earlier, but this one has to be bigger.
Oh, much bigger.
You now have a 4th down and 18 for the ball game against the Lake Braddock Bruins. Fantastic sack by Donnie Warder.
3-by-2 set, 3 out to the right. Here's Edwards, takes the pass, 4th down to go. Rolling out to the left, looking for the middle of the field, caught by Alexander at the 10-yard line. He's going to be up and over the 1st down. 1st and goal, Lake Braddock. And there is your D1 prospect. No, D1 prospect, D1 commit as of today. AJ Alexander to be exact. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, 8:21.
They call it short.
They're calling it short.
They're calling it short.
Really? I did not. Really? I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It will be short. All indications at first were a 1st down and goal, if I'm not mistaken there, Shaun, but all of a sudden I just wasn't paying attention to the line judge. It is 1st down and 10 for your Robinson Rams. Jack Rowland and company to take it, the other D1 prospect.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for possibly just bursting your eardrums, but that's definitely the biggest call. And you know what? That was all made possible by Donnie Warder with that crazy sack. I mean, Donnie Warrior, he's got to be feeling like a champion right now. He just sealed this ball game for the Rams.
Shaun Foncha, a huge surge up the middle, gets close to the 20-yard line, 2nd and 2 to go. There's some pushing and shoving going on down there.
Like I said, it's getting chippy. I mean, after that defensive stop, that huge defensive stop, I should say, the defense, that sucks the life out of your team if you're the Bruins and completely revitalizes you as a Rams team. I mean, every single person, even the band was throwing their instruments around going crazy after that call. It just shows the passion that goes into the game when these two teams play.
2nd and 2, 7:41 to go. Timeout taken by the Rams. Personnel issue, maybe?
I mean, possibly. You can't. I mean, you might as well have. Last thing you want is a penalty. You're trying to chew the clock down. Last thing you want is a penalty. With it being 2nd and short, if there's a penalty, then you'd have a 2nd and long, which makes it harder for you to run down the clock. Because if they get a first down here and continue to keep, run the ball and keep the play clock running down all the way down to 1 before hiking it, they're going to, and especially like I said, if they get this first down, they're going to have a much better chance at winning this game because that's going to annihilate the clock. I mean, the clock is just going to start ticking and ticking and ticking, and I can't imagine. And I believe actually the Bruins have 2 timeouts, being that they took one in the 3rd quarter. However, with only 2 timeouts and it being 2nd down, if they get a first down here, that's more downs than timeouts, and that's going to be a huge blow for the Bruins.
7:39 to go. 2nd and 2. Jack Roulette to take it. Handoff up the middle. Shaun Foncha again over the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Rams. 7:34.
Makes his way down to the 23-yard line, brings up 1st and 10 for Robinson.
1st and 10 for the Rams. 7:30 to go. 19-8. Rams up by 9. And the clock is ticking. That is the greatest part about this.
You can't. I mean, just if it's got to feel like you're bleeding out if you're the Bruins. I mean, you're just seeing this game starting to die away.
Handoff. Lowry stopped at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two, and a flag comes flying.
That was a pretty late flag. I don't know whether or not that would be that's either a holding against the Robinson Rams, or it's something against the Bruins. I can't see, but it appears to be a holding.
Gain of 2 on the play.
It's going to be on the Rams, I believe. I was talking to Lake Braddock Bruins captains on the field. 7:08. 4th quarter, Rams up 19-8. We'll keep a look on the clock for y'all here at closing seconds or closing minutes.
I mean, the Rams still have to make. You want to chew this clock down. However, one thing you still do have to keep in the back of your minds: there's still 7 minutes. This is still a pretty close game.
Only up by 9.
You do not want. I mean, thank God it is a 2-possession game. Even being that they have to score at least twice, whether it's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and a field goal, or just a touchdown and a field goal in general. Either way, you have to have that in the back of your mind. As much as you want to chew this clock down and finish this game for good, you still have to play conservative. Last thing you want is to fumble the ball, for instance. I'm sure all the running backs, Coach Vossler has stressed to them that you have to hold on to the ball. You can't. Last thing you want is a turnover deep in your own territory when the closing moments of this game, when the game is so close.
Game close. Just over 7 to go. 1st and 21 for the commute to Los Angeles to New York for the Rams.
There we go.
Here's Roulette. Handoff, stretch play to Denham. Cuts it upfield to the 10-yard line, and it is knocked down by a herd of Bruins. Maybe 2 yards on the gain, not a whole lot. 2nd down and from Utah to New York now.
There we go, man. I'm loving this. See, we're not good at math. We're good at geography.
Geography's coming in.
Geography is doing good. I mean, we're doing well. We're doing well with geography. However, I mean, like I said, it's second down 19. You still got a long ways to go, and you really want to get to this first down because that really puts a nail in the coffin here. However, with 6:15 and counting left to go, I mean, they're going to run the ball, but you kind of got to get this first down. But if you don't, make sure Aiden Rockwood will punt it deep, which he always will.
Pass set for Roulette. Knocked down at the goal line. Sacked on the play as Roulette didn't have a chance to throw it. Great surge by the Lake Braddock Bruins. And now you have a real bad problem here. Rams backed up all the way to the 3-yard or the 1-yard line.
Going back to our geography analogies, we now have third down in the Pacific Ocean for the Rams. I mean, I'm going to throw some water in there. However, one thing is, though, when you look at this, is that they have to run it. They have to run it because if you get sacked here, it's a safety, and that's just the last thing. Here they go.
Hand off the middle is Foncha. Gets a good 4 yards. Just giving some breathing room to Rockwood, which can help because he can boot it. He's going to boot it here.
He will. Last time he kicked out at this exact same spot, it was a 50-yard bomb straight to midfield. So, which obviously they need. But with 5 minutes left to go in this game, the Bruins still have a shot. I mean, they're going to have to get an onside kick unless they score extremely early. However, in the Rams defense, they're going to be tested. I mean, they had an amazing stop. Still, shout out to Donnie Warder for that amazing sack, and then allowing them to not be able to get that fourth down conversion. Now, Edwards is going to have to come back onto the field and try to make up a drive for his offense to come back into this game.
And Rockwood, most important kick of his life so far. High snap, gets one off. It's a high one, not too long. Goes to the 40-yard line. The Bruins allow it to take a bounce. It does get to the 45. Good 45-yard kick. Maybe a little more on there. I'll give it 50. Good return. Why? Don't know what's happening at them right now. Alexander was running with the ball like he could start it for some reason. Some theatrics.
Alexander running with the ball, just trying to make sure, just in case they did call Peter and he picked it up. However, the thing is that once the Rams touched the ball, it was over. The play was dead. So even though he tried to make an appeal that he just scored, the refs won't buy it.
Great kick by Aiden Rockwood, too, to get it all the way out to the 45-yard line. He was a good 7 yards in his end zone.
Yeah, there you go. It's another 50-plus yard kick for Aiden Rockwood. I mean, he's got a cannon of a leg. This is the biggest stop, though, this is the biggest series of the Rams defense so far this season.
4:23, 1st and 10. Here's Edwards. Rolling out to right, stacked on the play. He goes down. Matthew Strain getting the sack. There we go. Great defensive play for the Rams. Can I get a witness?
Another senior coming in through the clutch on this Rams defensive line. As much as there is plentiful youth on this team, the elders of this team, the seniors, especially on the defensive line, as the Bruins go hurry up here, is absolutely fantastic.
Keeper for Edwards going to have a good chunk of yards. 45-40, cuts it inside, tackled by Devontae Hicks. He gets a good 15-yard line. They're going to get a 15-yard run, about 4 yards shy of the first down. Hicks is down.
A great play call from the Bruins. I mean, Rams are playing prevent defense, obviously trying to make sure they do not give up a large Hail Mary pass, and that just gave a wide open zone, about 15 yards for Edwards to just run straight up the middle. And great call by Edwards, obviously.
Great vision by the coaches to see how far back those linebackers were.
Exactly, yes.
All freshman football players, please be down by the rock for post-game cleanup. And we would like to remind everyone, please stay off the field after the game. Once again, everyone, please stay off the field.
So as the Rams and Bruins each talk to the coaches and get a sip of water for this injury timeout to Devontae Hicks, as we obviously hope that he recovers and it's not too serious of an injury and he comes back into this game soon. look for this Rams defense. Obviously, we just saw them trying to play conservatively. They do not. Last thing I want is a big Hail Mary. However, you still also, with 3:39 left in this game, you don't want to give up anything easy either, because if you just let them keep giving up, if you keep giving up short passes and then they keep getting out of bounds, they're not going to give up much clock, but they're going to move down the field. So the Rams have to kind of make sure that it's going to be an interesting play call for Vossler and company to make sure that this defense holds this Bruins offense from having a major comeback.
3:39, 34 as we await this timeout. It's going to be a big call here. Probably see a passing play.
I can't imagine much different unless it's another quarterback draw. It has to be. I believe it's a passing play.
And here's Devontae Hicks getting up, walking under his own power. You know, sometimes big sticks like that, like he had, you get something they call a stinger.
Yep.
And that's just one of those. It hurts real bad. I'm not going to take any credit away from that. It does hurt, but it's nothing too serious, nothing too permanent. It
does. I mean, that's one of the consequences you get for when you hit people hard. You get hit hard as well. But I mean, Devontae Hicks, great player. Obviously, they hope for him to be back in the game soon, and we wish him the best of luck. But for right now, this Rams defense is going to have the series of their lives right now.
3rd and 4, 3 zeros out to the right, 2 to the left. Here's Edwards. Takes the snap, looking for the pass. Under pressure, floats one up for 22, out of bounds. It'll be 4th down for the Rams as Edwards' pass goes streaming out of bounds, and he took a rocket from Bugsy Siegel.
He did, and the ball actually was not out of bounds. It barely hit on the hash marks, or not the hash, pardon me, but on the little markers outside of the sideline. It would have been a back shoulder throw for the receiver. Obviously, he wasn't expecting that, but still, great coverage by the Rams defense.
Well, here it is, 4th down and 4 for the Bruins.
Ball game.
Out to the right, 2 to the left. Quick pass, looking right, got it there. Deshaun Lee has a 1st down over to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10, Lake Braddock, 3:23. And great play call from the Bruins as they had Lee wide open, just 5 yards downfield.
Like I said, that was one thing as a Bruins player appears to be down, or no, a Rams player is down. Marcus Denham is down, ladies and gentlemen. That is obviously a huge thing for this fan. As you see, A.J. Alexander coming off the field right now, and he is screaming with his coaches. Obviously, he was upset about something on that previous play. But going back to Marcus Denham, obviously that would be a huge blow for this team if he goes out for this game. I mean, not only, obviously, like I said before, not only offensively, but he had that huge stop on 4th down earlier in the ball game and defense coming out that safety blitz. And then he even had that tipped punt on special teams. As we see him get up under his own power, it has to take a little bit, but he can get up. As long as we can see him standing, that at least gives us all Robinson Ram fans a little bit of hope, as we obviously wish him the best of luck.
Marcus Denham, possibly the toughest guy you'll ever meet in your life.
Definitely, hands down. And honestly, I feel like the only people that are going to stop him from coming onto this game is the trainers. I feel like he still wants to come out here.
3 to the left, 2 to the right. Here's Edwards. Takes the snap, looking for the pass. In the pocket now, rolling out to the left. Still looking downfield. Under some pressure. Throws in the middle of the field for 22. Caught at the 10-yard line and then out of bounds. Great pitching catch from Edwards to number 22. Churchill, and it'll be 1st and goal for Lake Braddock Bruins with just over 3 to go in the 4th.
As they're going no huddle here, trying to preserve the clock. However, that was directly to the replacement of Marcus Denham, Wesley Richmond, backup safety for the Rams. They're definitely going to try to pick on some of these backups in the secondary with Devontae Hicks and Marcus Denham.
Takes the pass, looking for the end zone, looking for Turner. Or no, that's Alexander. I keep getting those names mixed up. A.J. Turner out of Centerville. However, Alexander this time loses the ball. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Almost a huge play. Both safeties are out for this Rams, both starting safeties. So the Rams are definitely going to try to pick on them, especially deep down the middle. I mean, them being on their own 10. That's big.
Edwards takes his pass, looking for the end zone, overthrows everyone as he is knocked down hard. And that is Patrick Robinson showing him the love there. I don't know if you call that love. It's something.
I don't know what to call that. I mean, that was brutal, whatever it was. But I mean, he's been, like I said, he's been taking some shots today. Edwards has. I mean, it's been a rough game for him. Protection hasn't been 100%, and he's really just trying to hang on in these last 3 minutes and try to get it and try to at least try to lead his team back to a comeback.
Over 3 to go, 3rd and 10. Here's Edwards, under pressure, rolling out to the right, throwing for the end zone, overthrown, incomplete, 4th and 10 looming. Good pass protection for the Rams and good rush by the D-line.
Absolutely fantastic coverage by the Rams secondary. Even with the 2 backup safeties in there, they had that middle locked down. As we now see Devontae Hicks come back into the game. I mean, and they're going to try to go for the easy points here, as the Rams sideline and Rams side of the field, the R unit is pumped up after that defensive stop.
Field goal attempt coming for the Bruins. The snap, the hold, kick is up. And it is good. 2:50 to go, 4th quarter. Bruins put up 11. Rams still up 19-11, 2:50, 4th quarter. We'll get the ball back.
Well, being 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, I feel like there's only one option for the Bruins, and that's to kick an onside kick. And so this will be the ball game. And the thing is,
well, I'd be surprised if they didn't go for the onside kick, Shaun.
I would be very surprised. And the thing being is that if they don't, even if they do recover the onside kick, you have to look at it from the standpoint that they are still down by 8 points. That still requires them to get another additional extra point or 2-point conversion plus their touchdown, which is not easy to do. And if they end up recovering this onside kick, this will end up going down as one of the classics that we did expect this one to be.
Lake Braddock Bruins, Robinson Rams, whenever they meet, it is always one that you will remember.
This might not be as big of a game as Gonzaga versus Centerville on ESPN, but the Rams Sports Network. But the Rams Sports Network is proud to give you this great football game between 2 fantastic Northern Virginia teams.
Here with Shaun Foncha on color, I'm Jack Federici. Thank you all for joining us here on onside kick attempt with 2:50 in the 4th.
Shaun Foncha's been fullback.
Shaun Salehi, I should say. My apologies to Shaun.
That's all right.
Onside attempt. Bounce once, taken by Velasquez. And he is pummeled, but he keeps the ball. Unbelievable play by the guard.
Fantastic. Last remaining enforcer that we could see still on the field with Lars Stevenson going down. And honestly, I want to say, with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. However, the Bruins still have 3 timeouts remaining. So they will need, so the Rams can't just take a knee here. They do have to actually drive the ball and get a first down. However, and this is going to be the biggest series for them. But with this running game working the way it has been all season, I can't really complain much if they just start handing off the ball.
Running backs, as we can see so far, 33, Lowry, 25, Denham, and Foncha. Good to see out there, Denham back out again. Hand off to Denham at the middle, cuts back, taken down, maybe 2 yards over the 50-yard line. Clock is ticking. 2:45 to go. Or maybe a timeout has been taken because the clock has stopped. And a timeout has been taken immediately. Good call by Lake Braddock Bruins sideline. Denham gets about a yard.
That's why this is such a big. This is why this is such a big, most important 2 downs of these kids' lives on the Rams. I mean, because the Bruins, if they continue to hold them from getting a first down, they're going to burn up all of their timeouts, and if they're able to not get a first down, they're going to have to punt it back to them, and the Bruins will then have a chance. Even though they have no timeouts, they'll have a chance to still come back and pull an amazing comeback. But the best part for the Rams, though, is that even if the Bruins do get the ball back, the lowest possibility is that this goes to a tie in overtime. So there is no risk or no possibility of the Rams losing the game immediately. However, they obviously want to take this one home, wrapped and sealed nicely, and they want to take it home before any extra overtime has to be done.
2:45, 2nd and 9, 4th quarter. 19-11, Rams up.
It's always nice having a pretty good football game instead of one being won by at least 45 points.
Good for us, not necessarily for the players.
Oh, no, definitely.
Here's Roulette. Handle this time to Dejon Lee. Bounces out to the outside. Spin move there. Gets a few extra yards. Not a whole lot. Maybe 3.
Immediately, once again, another hot timeout taken by the Bruins bench. Huge third down. Huge third down. Third down and 7. And so I do not know whether or not they will go for. I can see them possibly going for a pass here because even though the Bruins do have an additional timeout remaining,
depending on what tight end is in there, I believe if you see at any time if you see
Patrick
Tavares Grant come in, I would expect pass if they keep Tuck Brazel in and Esposito in right now. Thank you, Shaun. I believe they will run it. I think it depends on if Grant is in or not.
I do believe the same thing. Grant is definitely their deep threat receiver. And
to my knowledge, he is not in. There is Brazel and Esposito in.
And they're definitely the 2 run blockers when it comes to being on the outside. They can definitely lay down the wood for being people who can also have good mitts.
Here we go. 3rd and 7. Roulette. Handoff. There's a reverse play to Denham. He is shot back after getting to the 45-yard line. Short of the first down. It's a good design play. It was a reverse play to Denham. He had some running room, but then he was absolutely stuck by A.J. Alexander.
That was like 2 stars. That was 2 stars colliding right there as we go to 4th down and 5.
They're going to go for it, Shaun.
They're going to go for it. And honestly, I don't understand why. However, I'm not going to question it. One thing is, though, like I said, that was 2 stars colliding, and it appears that they're going to probably take a timeout.
They're going to drive down the clock. It goes just under 2 here. Round 2:57. They're going to wait for the last-minute timeout as they take it now with 1:54 to go. 4th down and 5. And, yeah, here comes Aiden Rockwood onto the field. That's a good call. That's a good call right there.
Definitely
That's why
smart.
Scott Foster's on the field. We're up here in the booth there,
Definitely smart. Definitely smart. Yep. One thing, though, is that, like I said, that was 2 stars colliding. That was Marcus Denham and A.J. Alexander, the 2 rivals, 2 biggest name guys on each team. And that really shows what this game has been like. I mean, you didn't see Marcus go flying back, and you didn't see A.J. Alexander get trucked. It's been a dogfight today. I mean, and as every Robinson Rams fan is hoping, along with Jack and I, we really are hoping that Aiden Rockwood is able to get this down inside of the 20 and cause the Rams to then have the opportunity to stop the Bruins with the Rams on defense and have one final stop and finally put a ribbon over this thing.
You know, Shaun, I lied before. This right here is the biggest kick of Aiden Rockwood's life thus far.
There we go. Well, back then it was. Now it's a new one. Now it's a new one.
Okay, I like it, Shaun. Thank you. 1:54 to go, 4th and 5. Aiden Rockwood back to bunting away. High snap, and it's off the fingertips of Rockwood. He's just going to dive on it, and that is the absolute last thing you want to see. A high snap for the Rams. Aiden Rockwood just not tall enough to get it. He has to fall on it. The Lake Brad Bruins will take it at the 40-yard line. And everything goes wrong for the Rams there.
Man, I'm almost speechless. That's the one. That was such a great call by Vossler. That was such a great design. That's running the clock down, then taking the timeout. But you know what? Now the Bruins still have no timeouts, and it's still the same situation. They still have to score a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion.
That's correct.
So the Rams defense still has to face them. They just have less field to work with.
Pass the lead. 35 to the 30, has some room, looking for the sideline, can't get there. He's going to have the first down, so the clock does stop for a second. No, it doesn't. It keeps on ticking. 138, 137, hurry up coming for the Bruins. They're just going to try to run a play here, not even spike it. 3-by-2 set. 3 out to the right. 126. Here's Edwards. Takes the snap, looking pass. Has to run out to the left side. Floats it downfield. Cut on the sideline by Alexander. And he gets out of bounds. Unbelievable catch.
One thing with Alexander is you can obviously tell his enthusiasm on the field. I mean, he's kind of like a Richard Sherman. He'll definitely have something to tell you about it if he does something good. However, hey, you got to respect him. I mean, he's the best player on this team, and he just showed why.
1:18 to go. 1st and 10. Lake Braddock at the 20-yard line. Here's Edwards. Takes a snap. Rush coming, and he's going to gets out of the pressure. He's going to take off. No look for the pass. Looking for the end zone. Wide open. Caught. Touchdown, Lake Braddock. They had a man wide open in the end zone as they could not take him down in the sack. It's going to be a touchdown by number 10, Eschenberg. Rams are up 19-17. Lake Braddock needs a 2-point conversion to tie it up. 1:08 to go, 4th quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is hands down the best football game I have seen in years, on an NFL level, on a college level, on a Pee-wee level. This is a fantastic game. Obviously, it's a great game for fans that are neutral to watch, but obviously if you're a Rams fan or player, your heart just sunk into your stomach.
Conversion coming. Here's Edwards rushing up the middle. He's going to stop. He floats it up. Intercepted. Jack Roulette. No matter what just happened, they did not get a 2-point conversion. It's going to come into the kickoff. The Bruins are still down 17-19, 1:08. It's going to be an opening. It's going to be a kickoff coming here for the Bruins. Great stop by the Rams.
Fantastic job by the Robinson Rams defense. Yeah, you just gave up possibly the biggest touchdown of the season. However, you did exactly what I always preach. You kept your mind, you had a short memory. You did what you had to do. You remained poised, and look what happened. You were able to stop them on the possible tying score of this game. Now, the biggest play of the game, this will simply be it, folks. There will be no possible fumbles. There will be no nothing. If the Rams get this onside kick return, it will be a wrap, and Jack Roulette will take a knee. If the Bruins get this, they have the possibility of kicking a field goal and winning this game. So this now comes down to an onside kick. This game has just went from a possible blowout to to probably the closest game the Rams will have all season.
Obvious onside kicking situation for the Bruins. Up front is Lee, along with Velasquez, and they have the catching guys back there with Grant and Birdsong. And here we go. The attempt. Kicks it out to Velasquez. Goes up high. Taken by Grant. Grant has the ball. It is Rams' ball. The Rams are going to take this one. Great job by Navarez Grant to leap up to get the high bounce. The Rams have possession of the ball. It is Rams' ball, ladies and gentlemen. Rams' ball. Rams' ball. Rams' ball.
Look at Navarez Grant. Look at his enthusiasm. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, he was injured. Yeah, he wasn't able to start in tonight at defense, but he just came up with the play that no defender could come up with, and that just saved the game for this Rams. That just put a ribbon and a knot over it, this man.
1:08 to go. You got to think big T formation coming up for the Rams. And a knee taken by Roulette. The clock will wind down. Ladies and gentlemen, pencils down. The test is over. Your Robinson Rams will take this one here at Lake Braddock as the clock winds down to under 55 seconds. Shaun, what an absolute classic game.
Man, we called it from the beginning. We're pretty good guessers, I would say.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty good. It goes back to math probability, but I'm saying when you look, this is definitely one of the games when you think of Robinson and Lake Braddock that you will go back to and think of. It was an absolute beautiful night for football, a perfect game, two undefeated teams going as Scott Vossler pumped up with his Rams squad and the rest of the Robinson Secondary School population. You can obviously tell that now the Rams will go in 3 wins, 0 losses, with the Bruins 2 wins and now 1 loss.
4, 3, 2, and 1. This game is over from Lake Braddock. Your Robinson Rams have won 19-17, going 3-0 on this year. Navarez Grant making the play of his life. Unbelievable game. The Rams coming in the second quarter, absolutely dominating. Halftime score of 19-8. The Bruins had a surge near the end, getting close within 3. However, a great stop on special teams by Navarro Grant gave the ball back. Shaun, how do you wrap up this game?
Well, the Robinson Rams are now the cardiac kids because they gave almost everybody watching this game a heart attack. Anyway, going to my offensive and defensive players of the game. Hands down, this was the hardest game to obviously come up with 2 players individually. But Marcus Denham, and I would say that he was one of the possibilities, but he's not going to be my offensive player of the game. He's going to be my defensive player of the game. And reason being is because he has a huge stop on defense on the 4th down. He came in several times with pass deflections. And also, I mean, he had that Tim punt. He did everything he possibly could on defense, went out several times in the game, got his brothers hyped up, and man, that put a ribbon on this one. Looking offensively, you got to look at Roman Lowry, an absolute steamroller Roman Lowry, like I say. I mean, he absolutely dominated this game. As you now see, your Rams join the marching Rams in the post-game celebration of the biggest victory, hands down, of the year.
Unbelievable instant classic for your Robinson Rams. They take this one 19-17. Greatest number of the night, 3-0, Shaun. Your Robinson Rams have come into Lake Braddock and defeated the Bruins. Unbelievable game. We thank y'all for watching. For Shaun Salehi at the color, Margot Gadnock, executive producer, and Ryan Good, I am Jack Federici. We'll see you at home next week. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.